so Hey, Travis.
Hello, what ho! Welcome back to the excitingly crazy last minute world of the Plain Truth. I'm your host, Travis Finlay. What's going on, Helvetica Bold? Mark Doxy, how you doing? Great, good. Good to hear that. So happy. Can you not hear me? Paige, can you hear me?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, thanks. Are we on a delay?
Bit of delay going on here. Let's see what we can do here.
I can't hear you. Say again? All right, I'm out here flailing on my own. So let me get rid of the starting soon ticker. The starting soon is gone because we've already started. Blah blah blah. Paige, are you there? G'day, Paige. Paige is not here yet. That's okay. So, anyways,
Can you hear me?
I can
Travis.
hear you. Yep. I can hear you. All right, let me do this. Make sure. There, are we on a delay? Okay. Everything looks good over there, at least on audio. I am still not happy with Streamlabs because
Testing 1 2.
Can you not hear me, Mark? I don't know what the smurf is happening. Is my mic muted? Mark, can you hear me now? What the crack?
Here we go.
Check. This is not going well.
Travis, can you hear me?
Oh my gosh.
Shall I go and play some cricket?
Fuck this for a game of cricket. Oh, now you can hear me.
I can, yeah, I got that, yeah.
Well, I've been talking the whole time, and then all of a sudden, when I say your phrase, you can hear me.
No, I was talking away. I couldn't hear you. But anyway, we're there now.
That's what I'm
Good
saying.
evening, my good man.
Oh, let's start over again.
Okay.
Hello, whoa. Good evening, Mark. How are ya?
I'm good. And yourself?
I'm doing great. I started up my. I finally got around to putting some content on my website, and had a lot of fun doing it. I really enjoy the dynamic of, HTML and coding and things like that. I mean, I don't know all the codes and whatnot. And I use Sheets, of course, but I like that stuff. So I got an introductory page open where I kind of spelled out everything except for the flat Earth stuff because I'm not presenting my material in a flat Earth manner. It's just going to be bare bones, dealing with Mirage, and I'm going to hopefully lead people along to make their own conclusions and come to the right one, of course.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I had a brief look at it earlier on.
You did? Oh yeah, brief look. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty proud of myself because I kind of troubleshot and found a way to. Because I had put up I had put up a still image with text on it, and I couldn't figure out how to make the image larger and not lose the resolution of the text, and I just couldn't figure it out. So then I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll put the image up anyway, and then I'll try to overlay or hypertext an audio reading of the image. And then I thought, you know what? Because I can upload videos, why don't I just make a short little video with the text? And then what's funny is then the video text appears larger on the screen than the thumbnail. Anyway, so I mean, I had fun doing it. It was a little bit frustrating along the way trying to figure stuff out because it's not always intuitive in terms of how they present stuff. Because I'm like, why can't I just do this?
It's a learning curve.
So, anywho, Alexander Lightwater, hello, hello. Running is medicinal. #1 Matrix man. Super flurps out there. That is Paige. So yeah, I heard that Bob is doing a Globebusters thing tonight on Gravity, but I really don't give a shit about that. So I'm like, uh, you know, let's do the dance over here, see what happens. Have an open panel, have a good time, drinking some whiskey, little rebel yell in me. So I got some. How about this? How about I share my screen and we just jump right into some stuff? And I got some images from Heath Carmody. Oh, let me turn this off. I got some images from Heath Carmody, and he's been putting up a couple of videos. He's been kicking out some stuff in the past couple of days, pretty quick. And so let me see if I'm gonna open this or I'm gonna save it. I think I'm gonna save it. Okay, give me a second. I can't multitask, so you don't have anybody else to talk to. So talk to me, Mark. What'd you do today? Fill in that space, bro. Okay, I'm all by myself again. In the meantime, in between time, hey, we got fun. La-di-da-di, la-di-da-di. Hey, we got fun. Yeah, so here I am still. Mark dropped off or what? I don't know. Heath, image #1. Save that there. Come down here. Open this up. Save it. And I'll close that. And I'll do Heath image #2. Did I like kill something or what? Did I?
Whenever you open that, you started to robot. You were asking your computer to do a bit too much all at once.
I don't get it, man. I talked to Tony about getting a computer that was going to be super duper, and I still am having problems. It's like not able to. I don't have a lot open, so I guess I'll just close these JPEGs. Because I even upgraded my internet here at the apartment.
Yeah, have you upgraded your memory?
Well, I've got a 4-core processor, and all of my storage is external. So all
yeah, your RAM.
Hello, hello, hello. What ho? I gotta tell you, man, I just don't get this stuff sometimes. It just doesn't make any sense why this shenanigans. Why does this always happen to me? Why? Get this stuff sometimes. It's hello, hello, hello. What ho?
Hello, Flat Earth Trucker. Don't get despondent.
Okay, well, I think we all should be back up to snuff. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. I just want to put a knife through this computer. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I was streaming 3 weeks ago and had no problems. None of this delay, none of this dropped frames, nothing. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, according to me, all right, so you were asking me about RAM and all that shenanigans, right? So if I go to my properties, right, on my desktop, or is that not there anymore? How do I look up on my the details of my PC?
Is it my computer?
I don't have a my computer, man. That's like Windows 97, man.
That's the last time I use Windows. I use Linux.
Yeah, but I used to be able to right click on the screen and it would just say properties and it would bring up this says graphic properties, display settings, personalize. So if I go, I'm just curious now. Let's go to settings, system. Okay, there we go. Maybe display, sound, focus, power, sleep, storage. So I don't know. I don't know this language, man. I don't know.
A modern efficient computer should be starting with 8 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah, well, whatever.
But if somebody's made you a fast computer, that's where he would be starting.
Well, like I said, you know, I bought it a couple years ago, probably back in 2018, and really I've had no problems with at least streaming. You know, there's been certain. All right, how's the audio out there, everybody? Taking Back Eden is there. I don't know if Alexander Lightwater's still there. If you guys still hung out, thanks so much. You know, we're just trying to get a show going, have a open panel, open discussion. Mark Doxey is here with me, hanging out. And let's see, Paige is signed in, but she's not here. So we'll just wait for the sultry sound of Paige's voice to show up. Let's see. What was I going to do before it crashed? Oh yeah, I was saving those files, and I'll have to share my screen with you. Do that right now. Oh, nope, back. Screens, done. All right, done. You should see my background there. And then I'm going to pull up these two images, and hopefully we can look at them. Okay, where was I? Live shows. Okay. Open this one, and then open this one. All right, so Heath Carmody is our graphics guru, as far as I know. So he's got this terrain visual thing, and I told him, look, bro, I'm going to have to look at this with you because I don't know what I'm looking at. Let me pull up the Skype message so that I can read what he says on Skype, and then see if that gives us some context. Can you see the screen okay, Mark? Oh my God. Can you see the screen okay, Mark?
I can, yes.
Okay. All right. I thought I lost you because I couldn't hear anything. Okay, so let's see. Go up here. Okay, so he sends me this first image, and you can hear me right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He says, I'm trying to make my ray tracer more user-friendly for when I make it public and could use some feedback when you have some time. Anything you don't understand, let me know if it's not clear about what is being shown. The boat, okay, so this boat here, it appears to be 10 kilometers. The camera, the camera is about 5 feet, 1.5 kilometers. The two images on the lower left are like a zoomed in diagram. Two images on the left, okay, are like a zoomed in diagram. Okay, yeah. They are the same image in this case, but I use them to compare. The real image of the boat in the middle is the perspective view. The ray diagram to the bottom right is the orthographic, and the curve is exaggerated because of the height and distance. Okay, so I think we've got at least the gist of this, right? So this down here with these rays and all this stuff here is the orthographic view. Here's the viewer at 1.5 meters, and you've got everything here, right? Now, I can't manipulate anything in this because it's not the program. It's just a screenshot. So we're going to have to make do with it.
Can we say hello to Brian? Brian's just joined us. Hi, Brian.
Hello, I don't know if I don't know what I'm doing here.
I invited him.
You don't know what you're doing here. Brian, welcome to the show. Where are you from?
I'm from Ballymena, Northern Ireland.
Well, welcome to the show.
Can
Well,
you see? Can you see the picture that Flat Earth Trucker is displaying there, Brian?
no,
If you right click on his, if you just put your mouse over his name, you'll see a little square appear and it says watch stream.
yeah, I'm on my phone at the minute here, so
Oh, right. Okay. All right.
Okay. Well,
Okay, well-
anyway, on your phone, you should have my. If you see your name, Mark's name, my name should have a live indicator by it, and if you click that, then it should just take you to the screen as well, so you can see what we have on the screen. Take your time, no rush. Yeah, we've got good audio, says Alexander Lightwater, taking back Eden. Thanks, guys, for that feedback on the audio.
I've just got your picture on the screen now.
Great. Okay. So Mark, why did you invite Brian over? What's his story? Tell us about him. Give us the dirt.
Sorry, it broke up there. Were you speaking to me?
Okay,
No.
Brian and Travis, you're both the truckers, so you've got that in common. You're both the flat earthers. You've got that in common. You both have a P900. That you got that in common as well. So you must be brothers.
Oh, you think, huh?
Of another mother.
Yeah. I won't even try to butcher your accent. I would do that in another instance, but it is St. Paddy's Day.
That's right.
I just realized that.
Yeah.
Strangely enough,
My oldest son is what year is this? 20. He's 24. My oldest son is 24 today. He was born on St. Patrick's Day, 1997.
you know,
Wow.
St. Patrick was a Protestant. Do you know that?
Yeah. What year did he convert Ireland?
I don't know. AD 400 was it? Something like that. I don't
Now,
know. Brian.
I haven't a clue. That's not the sort of thing I really keep up on. But interestingly enough, where St. Patrick used to keep his sheep is only, well, that he has stories from everywhere in Ireland, but on the hills of Slamish, he's supposed to have kept sheep. And that's only about 10 miles away from me.
Well, I can do better than that. He's buried in the town that I live in.
Yes.
Down
Oh,
Patrick.
is he really?
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly.
It's an Anglican church rather than a Catholic church. But there's a lump of stone with a bit of Celtic patterns on it, and it allegedly is the grave where he was buried.
Travis, I'd be interested to hear you butcher my language, because my accent, because doesn't bother me. I like hearing other people do the accent.
Oh,
Brian, where's your wife from?
You're going much more south than where I'm from.
But Brian, where's your wife from?
My wife is from Michigan. She was
from Michigan.
Yes, she was living in Maine when she was living just outside Belfast, Maine, when I met her.
Oh, Belfast, Maine. There you go. That was predestined right there, right?
Well, it's actually in. I think there was a Bangor, Maine, and a Belfast, Maine. She was actually in between it in Augusta.
Okay. You know what? For some reason, I thought you said Michigan, but you said Maine. Okay. Yeah.
No, I did. She was born in Michigan, but she was living in Maine when I met her.
Okay. And did you meet her in the States, or was she traveling abroad?
No, it was actually on the internet I met her, and then I went over to visit her. She was living in Maine at the time.
Oh. I have had zero luck meeting a lass on the internet for myself. Absolute zero luck.
Well,
So.
She was the one found me. She was looking for someone in the UK so she could get out of America. And I was the lucky guy.
There you go. Now, how did that work? So, how long have you been together then?
We've been married 22 years now.
Wow. So that would have been right at the beginning of really the social aspect of the internet. So how did you guys have contact? Was it the internet?
It was a program called Freetel. It was like where you could actually talk to people around the world. No, you could either type or talk.
Uh-huh.
And I was talking to another girl in the Philippines at the same time. And we jokingly say, I mean, I
Hold
keep
it
on
together,
mentioning
Mark.
I could have
Hold
had.
it together.
Yes, we jokingly always say when we get mad at one another, I say I could have had a girl from the Philippines, and she says I could have had a rich man from Texas.
Uh-huh. That's great. That's great. Good stories. So, all right. Well, we got a little bit of an icebreaker there. Yeah, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I don't know what's going on here, so I'm just interested in.
Well, normally this time during the week there is another Flat Earth channel that does a live show with an open panel, and they get a little bit more traffic than this. But Brandon every once in a while has a wrench thrown into his plans, and I just found out a half an hour before his show was going to go live that he wasn't having a show. So then I started throwing something together. So basically, this is just a live hangout right now. We are on my channel, and we're just talking. We're just shooting the breeze, and we're gonna look at some stuff and talk about some stuff. If anybody wants to join, the link for the Discord should be in the description. I just updated it, so it should be good to go. And in the meantime, though, there is someone in the chat that is named Slightly Slanted Sleuth, and I put the link out there. So if you want to join, then click that link. But he says, "I'm not saying this to be confrontational, nor to argue whether it's flat or square or otherwise, but please come back with a heartfelt answer. Why does it matter if it's flat?" So, Mark, why don't you take that off? Take that off and go with it for a moment. And then, Brian, if you want to comment, and then I'll follow up.
Why does it matter if it's flat? So, this is the only conspiracy theory that nobody gets harmed with. It's a debate on what's the shape of the Earth, compared to other conspiracy theories where people did get hurt, like how did the Vietnam War start, or 9/11, or JFK murder. So I enjoy this particular discussion. It doesn't really matter, other than we've been lied to, and there's a small elite that's perpetuating the lie. The Earth presents itself as flat and motionless, and yet we're told from a very early age, no, we're living on a globe that's spinning. When you look at what your eyes tell you compared to what you were taught, separate the two and just be critical about each side. And the conclusion that I draw is that the Earth is flat and motionless.
All right, just real quick before you jump in there, Brian. I was told that my mic level was low, so coming back with an audio check on that, Dan Morris, and then go ahead and take it away, Brian.
Well, as Mark has just said there, one of the things I would say is the truth is what matters. It's asking me why, if it's flat, does it matter? All I can do is look for the truth. And when I started looking for the truth and discovered some of the things about Flat Earth, they revealed they revealed other lies that we are being told. So one of the things I would say about learning about Flat Earth is that it gives you a more critical mind, and you look at things in a different way, because you realize that what we're been told is not the truth. And then when you realize that, you look into other things and find out that the world is not as what we realize, what we thought it was when we were growing up. So I'm not going to say that I definitely think it's one thing or another, but I know it's not what we've been told. So that's why I found it interesting when I started looking into it.
All right, very good. And it looks like Slightly Slanted, if you would like to say hello just to give a mic check and let us know that your audio is good. All right. Yep. You're off. Yep. You just took yourself off mute. So go ahead and you just put yourself on mute. All right. In the meantime, Brian T, you come back. Oh, yep. No, that's Brian. So, Bandsaw's joined us. Hi, Bandsaw.
Mic check.
Bandsaw, your mic is really bad. Can you come back when it's a little bit better? You got to find a better area, buddy.
How we going, Travis?
Hey, Bandsaw. Good to have you on the show. All right, Slightly Slanted. You want to try one more time? Okay, well, I'm not gonna wait around for that to come about. You don't have any screen time, Slightly Slanted, so I'm a little bit skeptical as to who you are. So don't think about flashing anything up on the screen, because it's not going to be public. And I don't want to see whatever the hell you've got going on. So, all right, Bandsaw, have you heard the conversation thus far?
No, just checked in, mate. Just checked in. So hopefully
I think
you're going to be here for a reasonable conversation today.
Sure. Well, I think you can handle the curveball that Slightly Slanted put out in the chat. He says, come on, what does it matter if it's square, round, flat? What's it matter? So that's what we're talking about right now. So Mark gave his thoughts, Brian gave his thoughts, you joined. So how about you, if you want to share or not? Why does it matter?
What's it matter? What's it matter? Well, I would like to know. Well, it'd be nice to know, wouldn't it? It really would be nice to know that if we are placed in an imaginary jail, which is what the globe is, right? Because it has no fences, no boundaries, right? You can go all the way around it, right? And as the animals that we are, we can roam freely, right? We're not caged at all, right? So we have no need to really explore this vast land of ours, because, right, we're free to go anywhere. There's no boundaries. Okay, then. I think that there are some boundaries that we can't go, right? And that's, to me, curious, right? Why can't we go past these certain boundaries? For what reason can't we go? Is it the penguins? Is it the sea lions? What is the real reason that we just can't go past these certain boundaries? And that makes me curious. And I have been put up a boundary where I can't go past. And my natural curiosity says to me, like a caged animal, when boundaries are put up, what is there? What is there? So I think it is important to determine where we are exactly.
Yeah, okay. Appreciate that. It looks like Slightly Slanted, you're on video, so do you have audio? Okay, I can't hear you. I can see you, but I cannot hear you. So all I can suggest, if you are interested in joining to find out about your settings, so if you're in Discord, go down to where your name is, and I think there should be a cog wheel there for user settings. Just make sure everything on your end is copacetic. But I did see your video. I appreciate that. And once you get yourself settled in, feel free to come back in. You might want to drop and join again. If you look beneath the channel that you're in right now, I have 2 other voice channels. Sometimes it helps to jump in one of those to reset and then come back in here. Okay? So he's on both. He didn't hear anything I just said. I just saw that he's muted and he's deafened.
Now,
Okay, yeah, okay. Gotcha.
you can hear me now.
Yeah, I gotcha. And everybody else hear him okay?
Yeah, good to have you with us. Slightly.
Yeah, nice to be here. Glad you guys
Welcome.
invited me.
I haven't a clue what I'm doing here either. So I mean, I'm just listening in because I can't see anyone else. I'm just listening.
So
Yeah.
so slightly I don't recognize your name and you don't have a wrench, so that means that you've not been on my channel enough for me to know who you are, but let us know who you are as much as you're comfortable and how you found the stream. And
Matt shared your live, and Matt Man's a good shit, and he's a good dude, and Code's a good friend of mine, and it's pretty much. And
Okay.
I'm all about spreading love and trying to assist others in seeing what I think my truth is. But I mean, I'm not gonna shit on anybody else's truth, because your truth is your truth. But ultimately, it leads to one truth, and that one truth is that we're all one in the end. So.
all right,
That's
well,
pretty much-
I can appreciate that viewpoint. Now, so did you get this notice from people who were on Facebook or?
No, from YouTube, from Matrix Man.
Oh,
Mhm.
Matrix Man. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I was trying to think of that name that you gave, but Matrix Man. Okay, definitely have seen him. He's wrenched as well. So, all right. Well, welcome to the show. Have you heard any of the responses to your question yet?
Yeah, and
Okay.
they're all valid. They're
Okay.
all valid, and I can
Sure.
relate to that.
Sure.
And I don't. To me, it doesn't matter if we're in a pickle jar or under a fake fridge light in some far off cooler in the back of a refrigerator truck. It doesn't really matter, because we're all here together, and that's pretty much, to me, in my eyes. To you that may be different, but the fact is, we're lied to on a daily basis by everything. There's so many things we could dump our energy into to improve our situation here.
Yeah. Well,
And-
no doubt at all. And again, you've already talked a bit about truth between one another, right? You've been talking about love and the way that we relate to each other. To give my answer and to kind of piggyback on what you're saying as well. I mean, ultimately, sure, it doesn't matter where we are, but if we've been lied to about where we are, then I piggyback on what Bandsaw said, and even Brian, that is that the truth matters. So understanding the nature of our reality is important to me. So whenever I hear
that's the ultimate important thing. Yeah, I agree with that.
yeah, so whenever I hear anybody say, well, what does it matter? I mean, like, you don't get it. You absolutely just don't get it. So I don't know how long I'm going to have to talk to you about reality and truth on a lower level in order for you to get up to where I'm at. But when people say to me, ultimately, I guess if you're here, and is there anything else that you do accept that the government has lied to us about?
Let's see. I'll call you right back. Hello.
We can hear you.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No,
Yeah.
it's okay.
The for one, the whole CV thing that's going on, right?
Yep.
There's a little known drug called ivermectin. It's a repurposed drug that's been around since the 70s. It's a horse gut dewormer. You can get it at Fleet Farm for damn near free.
Uh-huh.
Well, I have asthma, and I've been, I've had cytokine storms or whatever it's called. You know, the thing that affects you when you get COVID and it's severe, and they put you on a ventilator.
Okay.
Well, that process is totally averted by the take. Well, put it this way: any virus, well, the COVID SARS-2 virus, is eradicated or prevented through ivermectin, and the government is squashing it. And I agree with all of that. I know there's nefarious people in this world, but there's certain things that we cannot control. But we can take, we can take pride in what we know and what our truth is. And I'm not knocking anybody.
Oops, I'm sorry. Hold on, everybody. Sorry about that. My my audio on my video is way up. I don't know why it. I thought it was going to play through. I selected a slideshow for everybody to watch on screen, and it went to the video. I thought it was going to skip all the videos, so I apologize. Are you still there? Did I cut you off?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, well, I apologize for interrupting you, but all of a sudden I had this audio static in my ear, and I wanted to make sure that
It's all good.
I handled that. So I apologize for interrupting you. If you can remember what you were saying, go ahead and...
Well, I
back
tend to rabble on, so
That's all right.
I just repeating myself.
Yeah, just make sure... Oh my gosh. I can't do that. For some reason... Hold on real quick.
Slightly slanted Sleuth. Your voice went a bit low.
Did you go further away from your mic?
Yeah, that's the first thing I was going to say. Yeah, go ahead, Mark. Yeah.
Well, you were talking about
my audio's bad now.
Yeah, you're good now. So you suffer with asthma, and there's a drug that you take that helps you breathe.
Oh, ivermectin. Ivermectin is a drug. You know, it's a horse anti-parasitic. It's for gutworm in horses. You know, that's what it was. It was originally and heartworm and dogs and whatnot. You know, and this drug it's been testified about in front of the Senate committee on COVID. You know, in front of the United States Senate committee by Dr. Pierre Corey, and he's the top of his field. And he states that if you take this drug, you do not get COVID, and if you have COVID and you take this drug, you're cured within 24 hours. And his testimony was back in October, I think, and we hear nothing about it. But they're forcing the big pharma vaxes on us because it's big money, you know.
Yeah.
And who knows what else is attached to it. And don't get me wrong, my wife's a nurse. She's taken the vaccine. I'm never going to take it. But, you know, that's the dichotomy I live in my everyday life. But, you know, that's like the flat earth, round earth thing. If you really get down to it, everything's going to be a division. But, yeah, ivermectin is just something that's being squashed that should be available to help people, you know, that want to live because people are dying daily from this. And I don't know if it's the regular flu or whatever the hell it is, but it gets rid of it.
Can I ask a question just real quick? Do you know any of the contents of this ivermectin?
Do I know any of the contents?
Right.
What do you mean? Oh, it's an anti-parasitic is what it is.
Okay, but
you know,
sure. But there are natural anti-parasitics and there are pharmaceutical manufactured ones. I'm just wondering how much.
Correct. Yeah, okay. Ivermectin has been developed by, I think, Merck. You know, and it's been around since the 70s. It won a Nobel Prize for its use against malaria, Ebola, and all kinds of. And in my honest opinion, this is just a guess, but I think Trump, when he got COVID, I think this is the drug that got him out of it.
Okay. Yes, I know there is a few. There's a hydroxychloroquine, and then there's another one I can't pronounce the name, which they just did a study where they, this was on Dale Bigtree's thing there last week, where they were pointing out that Oxford University did a study and said that 9 out of 10 people could have been saved being hospitalized. So I I sort of get what you're saying is there is medication out there that they could be using, but they're not because there's a bigger plan. And they want to push the vaccine. Just for your interest, Mark, I got my little notification yesterday.
Did you know?
From my doctor's surgery.
Yeah,
To go for
I think the
vaccine.
vaccine is just going to make us more dependent on another shot, in my
Yes,
opinion.
definitely.
That's what I think it is. And every time you got to get a shot, you got to pay the big pharma companies for it, you know. So
Yeah.
if I guess right now.
So, just to follow up a little bit on what I was.
I'm a Nibiru researcher, and I film this guy endlessly. And now I see Nibiru as an inner thing because it's a place of crossing or signpost of transition. And the place of crossing is us. Did you know Bethlehem means the house of bread? And a house is somewhere where the in and the out interface. And bread is something you need to put good processing into for it to rise correctly. You know, and that's what Bethlehem is. And where was Jesus born? In a manger, in a man, in Bethlehem. And that's why the Vatican has a pine cone statue in the middle of their central courtyard at the Vatican, you know.
Well, so how did you jump from House of Bread and a manger to the pine cone? I'm not disagreeing. I'm just trying to understand.
No. That's a totally valid thing, and this is what I mean about me rambling. But if you listen to me long enough, I'll double back and try to explain myself. But that's a valid question. It's because Jesus Christ, as it is a polarized source of the light of the world, the only begotten, right? That's what it's for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, for he who shall believe in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. That in that verse tells us that that light is the only begotten. It is the source of creation, and that polarized light is produced in our pineal gland. The pineal gland is the Jesus in the center of the 12 apostles in the Last Supper painting by Da Vinci, or by what's his face, and that it was Da Vinci.
Yeah, it was Da Vinci. Yeah.
But the 12 apostles are the 12 paired cranial nerves we have in our head that surround the pineal gland. That's in the middle. That's a little Santos Bonacci, but it's true.
Yeah, I really like Santos. I really like Santos, so I can appreciate what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's weird how I got to this. And each one of our journeys, guys, is valid as much as the next, because no matter what, we are all going to end up at that crossroad, and we're all going to see the light eventually. And that's just our destiny. That's just what we are here for. We are the seed to seed of the Bible prophetically. I mean, we are the seed that is on earth to produce the seed in which the seed, hey, I seen you when you were viewing your live stream. View your live stream while you're live streaming it, that hysteresis loop, where you see the infinite picture in a picture in a picture.
Uh-huh.
That is that's a valid representation of creating within the creation while being aware of creating it.
It's a fractal, right? You're talking about fractal?
Yeah, that's exactly what our reality is, yes. And that's what we do, and that's what we're here for, and to recreate the light.
Yeah.
And that's the house of bread, and all of the words, when you break them down, did you know man is means to think? That's what man means.
I think, therefore I am. So
yeah.
Well, what was interesting when I did fill in for Brandon, I think either over a week ago or so, one of the guests that came in, I'm trying to remember what his name is. What was his name? It's like a king kind of a title. I can't remember what it's called, what is now. But he was talking a little bit about the fractal reality of our universe. So absolutely interesting stuff. I want to finish up just real quick with just the way that I was trying to take the direction in terms of my answer to your question, why does it matter? Again, truth matters, right? So understanding who we are, I mean, you're all about that, understanding who we are. So, so many of us have a particular calling. I think it's even internal, right? Our synchronization with our environment and with our world. I really feel in the place where I'm at right now, I really feel passionate and driven to continue to pursue the observations that I'm making with my 2 cameras and publishing those data, and then trying to get published even in a written form. But there are people like yourself and people like Mark, where we all have our own passions and our own areas where we feel that truth in that area needs to be exposed. So I think that that's a pretty reasonable, so like what Brian said at the beginning, for him was that truth matters. Well, truth is the ultimate umbrella. Like everything falls under truth, like economics, politics, history, education, medicine, religion, right? All of that falls under the umbrella of truth. And I'm not called to be a political truther. I'm not called to be an economic truther. I can talk about those things, right? I can hold a conversation with someone, but that's not where I'm driven. Like, even as a Christian, when I was a Christian, I'm no longer one, but when I was one, I wasn't even passionate about sharing the gospel with someone. I mean, I could, but it wasn't like driving me. What was driving me, hold on just real quick. What was driving me was the beauty that I saw in the literature of the Bible, and looking at even the fractal nature of the Bible is absolutely mind-blowing. And if you don't understand that the Bible is fractal, then you might as well be watching television in black and white, or listening to the AM radio. But ultimately, my point is that each of us is called, I think, to be passionate about some aspect of life and its truthfulness. And I think if we don't live in accordance with that passion, then I think we're going to die. I think we're just going to shrivel up and not live. You know what I mean? So I do want to move on to something else that I was starting before I had a debacle with my computer. But if anybody else wants to follow up just real quick, briefly, I want to give any of you the last opportunity.
Well, I was just going to say that, interestingly enough, I am still firmly a strong Christian. But like yourself, whilst I don't find the drive within me to go out preaching the gospel, I do find the drive to want to tell people about this, because I think it opens up the truth to others who are not following the Bible. But as a friend of mine who knew no truth, then was spoken to by a Christian who basically just told him about the New World Order and that sort of thing. He wasn't interested in the Christian side. He went off to find the truth about the New World Order, then discovered the flat earth, and then from the flat earth came to the Bible. So there's many ways of finding things. So, but just as sorry, I forgot your name because I can't see anything bar the pictures flashing. Pardon?
My name is Steve.
Steve. Well, Steve, it was interesting enough how I came to the flat earth. I thought that when I saw people quoting the Bible, that they were making a mockery of it. And I thought, and when I started looking, but then when I realized there were several verses within the Bible that actually make more sense in a flat earth. So,
like which one?
One of the angles pardon?
Like which one? Can you name one? And I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
No. Well, I mean, I'm not going to quote the exact verses, but where the sun, I'm just going to, in Joshua, where the sun and the moon stood still, and they stand over particular places. That would be one that I would think of. And then where it says that Jesus was brought up to an exceedingly high mountain and shown all the kingdoms of the earth in a moment of time. Well, I used to think that must be a television or something like that there. But it would make more sense if the Earth was flat and you could see the whole Earth from an exceedingly high place, which you wouldn't be able to see if it was a sphere. But I think there's a few others, but I can't think of them just off the top of my head. But there was just a few things that once I started digging into them, then I saw within the Bible as well. So
that one you just quoted, the one with Jesus on top of the mountain, and all the information and all everything, all the knowledge came to him. That is essentially what Jack and Jill going up the hill is about. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be facetious or anything, but that is the ultimate thing that we're here to do, is climb that mountain of God and see the light in the abyss of our mind. And it's all within, brother. To know thyself is to know the end of all, and that's you. And I totally agree with you on how flat Earth can bring you to the truth, because it took Nibiru, a planet, coming to kill me, and me buying $2,000 worth of groceries, scared out of my mind, for me to realize what it truly is. And I mean, I had 500 videos on my channel about Nibiru, and I had a lot of views for that stuff, and I erased them all because it was all wrong in the end. But that's my journey, and everybody has their journey, and I totally appreciate you guys for sharing your perspective with me. And because whether or not I'm going to agree with you, it still embeds in me a serene feeling that there are people that can actually hold a conversation.
Oh yeah, sure.
and not agree with me.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
that's what it's all about, I think.
Yeah, I think that this conversation is absolutely rewarding, and I'm glad that you're here. I was a little bit nervous because I've had people join and they're not who they say they are, and up to this point,
right.
Up to this point, I've really appreciated everything that you've talked about, and so let's just make a transition back into where I was before my computer went wonky. So this is a computer graphic by another channel who promotes Flat Earth, and his channel is called Heath Carmody. So he basically tries to put into graphics. Can you guys see my screen? I want to make sure I'm sharing still.
Yes, there's 3 yachts and
yeah,
in the lines.
Now I don't expect you guys to read all of the small print that's on the perimeter, and I don't know how well this discussion is going to go, but I just thought, well, because he sent it to me today and I just hadn't had a time to look at it, but we can maybe try to at least think through this, because this really is the area of my focus with photography, as well as Heath Carmody, because he goes out up in Canada. I can't remember if he's near Vancouver or some other location, but he's doing observations that deal with the obstruction that we see over aquatic distance. So I'm really absolutely thrilled and thankful that there's someone like him. I would again, if I could build a team of investigators and scientists to research this, I mean, honestly, guys, I don't even know what to say. It's almost like this field has never been investigated. That's where I'm at. The basis for my claim that this field is wide open is that based on the observations that I have made and that I've seen others make that are similar, the model that we are presented with is 100% incorrect. Incorrect. Absolutely. And so the field, in my opinion, is wide open. So I am very, very passionate about this. And this is not my forte. I'm the guy who takes the pictures. I'm the guy who can analyze the pictures and talk about the pictures and compare the pictures. But this computer graphic stuff, no way. Absolutely not. So Heath Carmody would be on my team 100%, as well as others. But so it's I guess as best we can do. What we decided earlier, based on what Heath said, is this lower image here on the very bottom right is the orthographic view. Okay, so the image that we're seeing right in the middle of the screen is what is called the egocentric perspective. That is egocentric. That is your perspective. That's what you see with your eye. So now turn 90 degrees, and this is you over here, and this is the image here. Now, what this purple band is, this purple band is, I would assume, the obstruction. So I'm looking out at this image, and I can only see the sails. I cannot see the hull or even the water touching the hull. So the question that I have then is that how does the orthographic view depict this? Like where does the obstruction begin? So we've got this target here, which is the sailboat, and then I think that the green arc is to represent the curve of the Earth. So the Earth is curving away. This target is 10.2 kilometers away. So it's going to physically drop, right? So the reality is the only thing that you're ever going to see at this distance is what is not obstructed by the physical Earth. And it seems to me that this bottom blue line gets a tangential here with the green, right? It looks like they marry, right? It looks like they meet right here, like they touch. And so I would say that's the tangent of your visual. So now that's right where we see, right? So we've got the bottom sail here. If I lose anybody, or if you want to clarify, please jump in. I don't want to hog the time. I'm just talking through this because I haven't looked at this before. So it's just like, on the street analysis, okay? So please feel free to interrupt. So we've got this limited view here. We've got a limited view here, and we've got a limited view here. So we can't see the hull of this sailboat, okay? Now, the problem with this is, I believe, is that if you have refraction here, how do you know what refraction is obstructing and what the Earth curve is obstructing? Now, I don't think the Earth is obstructing anything, right? So they've got their maths. They've got their 7/6R value for refraction. There's a generic, but it's not generic, right? Because it's universal. The 7/6R is the standard value for refraction. So then if you plug in the standard value of refraction, this is what you're going to see. You're only going to be able to see right here. So then that puts this line, this is where the physical curvature of the Earth exists. The reason why you can't see the hull of this sailboat is because it's beyond the curve. Now, the problem that I have with this, and I have not seen anyone address this issue, is it doesn't matter to me excuse me, it doesn't matter to me if you can write out your equation with 7/6R and give me a value, and then put an equal sign to this image and say, my standard refraction value calculator says X, and this is what we see, and that's what X is.
Just quickly, Travis.
Yep, go ahead.
Sorry.
Yep, no, go ahead.
With this standard refraction that we're talking about, 7/6R, right? What weather conditions equate to standard refraction? Is there a particular weather pattern, weather conditions that you also need to experience this standard refraction?
Look, dude, every single time I look this bullshit up, one of the first things that you're going to come across, if you look up Fata Morgana, if you look up Superior Mirage in particular, they happen 99% of the time in the Arctic areas. Okay? And then the very next sentence is, but you can see them almost anywhere. So do I need Arctic conditions, or can I see them on the Catalina, on the Anacapa Channel Islands? Can I see them anywhere, or are they exclusively like? So there's always this double speak. There's always like, exactly, Bandsaw, because I've said this to Rumpus, I've said this to Ruhif, I've said this to every single one. Show me a picture of 7/6R, please. And they say, well, it's the picture with less refraction. I'm like, okay, great. Thanks for telling me that. Show it to me. And they never do, bro. They never do.
Who was the guy?
It's as clear as mud, is what we're saying.
Who was the guy that put lasers, different coloured lasers, across a frozen lake?
That is Groot 1. I'll look up his. Go ahead and talk through it. I'll look up his channel real quick. Go ahead.
Well, when a lake is frozen, you've got no evaporation, so you've got no sort of gaseous band of evaporating water because everything's frozen. The air and the ice and the water are all one temperature. So you've removed any temperature-based refraction. And he put 3 different colors of the green, red, blue lasers across a frozen lake that was maybe 3, 4, 5 miles away. And he had his camera just a few inches above the surface of the ice, and he could see all of them at such a low altitude that he was just a few inches off the surface of the ice, and every one of them could be seen.
Yeah.
So
I disagree with that, Bold. Sorry.
I didn't hear that. Say that again.
I disagree with that. You said because it's all constant temperature, there's no gaseous vapors above the ice. I would disagree with that.
Okay, what in a normal circumstances, water evaporates at its surface. So at the surface of water, it's slightly denser than the air above it because of the evaporation of the water. So ice prevents that; it stops that.
Yeah, I can appreciate what both of you just said. I will repeat myself. I think this field is still wide open. I don't believe anything either of you just said. How about that?
Yeah, well, you're
Yep.
you're.
That's a good position to start with, I reckon.
Right? No hard feelings, brothers. No hard feelings. But man, you know, I need, listen, you know, when I read these knuckleheads talking about how the hot air is closer to, okay, look, think about this. Okay, let me ask you this. This just came to my mind. I said it the other night on a stream, and someone said, "Are you serious? That doesn't even make any sense," which was fantastic because that's what I think. Here we go. This is science. Dry air is more dense than humid air.
I would disagree with that.
Huh. Anybody else? Does anybody agree with that statement?
I don't know enough about it to agree or disagree, personally.
Well, think about this. How would you assess your sauna? Right, your sauna is turned off. You walk in, nothing. Room temperature, ambient. Mm-hmm. You turn on the humidity. Is it more dense when you walk in back after it's turned on? Or was it more dense before when there was drier conditions?
No, 100% after you turn it on.
Fucking A, that's not what the science says, bro. That is not what the science says.
But suggesting that a particular condition is not dynamic like Bold was kind of suggesting, like over ice, like nothing is happening, I think is incorrect. We live in a dynamic system. It is always changing and moving, always.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. 100%. Yes, sir. Yep. I'm going to put the chat for the channel that Mark brought up. I can't remember how you say it. Grout21 or Grout A1. Grout A1. Dude's got 77,000 subscribers. I don't know, I didn't know him from Adam. And
Are they a tiling company, Travis?
I've seen him do some kind of tactile and like hands-on blue collar stuff, but I don't know anything more. I've never investigated the back catalog of what he's got, but what he does have, and you can see it on the thumbnail right there, he's got miles and miles of observations of red light, green light, yellow light over frozen lake. It's just amazing. So, Yeah, right the hand, wetter equals more dense. Abso-smurfly right, brother. Abso-smurfly right. It's crazy. When I just don't get it. I'm like, are you serious? You cannot be serious. It's counterintuitive. Well, just because you don't understand how dry air can be more humid. I'm like, fuck you. No. I'm going to get crass right now. No. When I'm with a woman and she's dry, that's a whole lot different than when she's wet. I'm just saying. Just saying. Am I right? I think I'm right. That we don't need to go any farther with that. There's a big difference.
Yeah. We're digging a hole here with this one.
Okay. Listen, the lasers across a frozen lake is pretty much.
Wait. Hold on. We got somebody with an open screen. Somebody's watching the channel on YouTube. You got to go on mute. And I just looked over at my Discord. We got Aaron Morfeld in the house. What's going on, brother Morfeld?
Hey, just listening in.
All right. Chime in whenever you want, brother. Okay, yeah.
Well, I presume, Travis, the reason why you're saying this is wide open is because what the official science is telling us is obviously false, and so therefore it needs more people looking into it who are open-minded to come up with alternative suggestions to what we're really been told. Is that what where you're saying that it's wide open?
Yeah. When I have a discussion with someone who says, "Oh, well, that's really interesting, and tell me more about that," that's a whole lot different than someone saying, "You're an absolute idiot, science knows, blah blah blah." Okay, and we have more of the latter on these shows, that science is settled, but science doesn't prove anything. But science is settled, but it doesn't prove anything, because we can always discover something else. So the fact that I'm suggesting that you missed something, oh, no, you're absolutely wrong. We already know what refraction does. We already know. Wait a minute. Well, then, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have an open system of science that is going to welcome an alternative explanation for an event or an observation or a sickness or whatever. So yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. That is, we simply want people who are open-minded. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, I think when I first started observing through the P900 and started seeing things and find out what I'm supposed to be seeing and what I'm actually seeing, that's what made me go, yeah, there's definitely... It made me realize I don't know anything, and I've had to look into a lot more, and I'm still learning. But that's just... I agree with what you're saying, is when someone wants to just answer with a here's the science settled answer, they haven't really looked into it themselves. They haven't done any observations. They're repeating what someone else has told them, or they've done a quick Google search and someone's come up, here's how you answer a flat earther, but they haven't actually done the observation to see them themselves. I think when you look through the camera or the telescope and see what you're not supposed to be seeing, it opens your mind.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's that's a bit of a misnomer, right? Because I would say when you look through the telescope, you are seeing exactly what you're supposed to every single time.
But what I'm trying to say, I know I'm not very eloquent in saying it, but what I'm trying to say is you're seeing things and you believe you're seeing them, but you're then been told it's refraction, it's reflection, it's different things, and it's trying to piece together, am I really seeing that? Or am I coming up with being open-minded enough to go, yeah, there's something more than what I've been told. So that's just, when I've been looking at images myself and going, right, what am I seeing? Why am I not seeing the bottom of that? Why? As you know, when you look over the long distances, a small wave can obscure a large thing because it's much further in the distance. So I'm very, very lower level from where you are. Obviously, you have got much further on.
Oh, no! Don't put yourself down like that. All that means is, in terms of our on the field experience, might be more than yours, but your ability to be a critical thinker, that's the issue, right? That's the issue.
No, I appreciate. I mean, the fact that I'm not seeing images like this and examining them and looking into them. This is my first time coming into something like this, but I appreciate. It's good to be able to speak to people who've examined things more carefully. I'm just coming at a very low level, going, yes, I know there's much more going on. I wish I did understand it, but I want to open to much more than just the very basic answers that I've been told. I mean, I was looking at the BBC has got its propaganda at the minute, where it has these floating ships, and it's given its very, well, I can't say the mirage that you were able to say earlier on. It's just basically telling us that, and what you said, where they're saying is it's normally in the Arctic, but here it is here.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Have you seen those images?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, I don't watch the news. I don't read the news. And I had a friend of mine send me that. He said, have you seen this? And then after he did that, I got hit with it like from 4 other people. But exactly that. Yeah.
No, I haven't seen the BBC News. I only saw their news page, and I've read it on. I haven't actually seen, but that's just where I've seen it.
But what's interesting is Mick West. I don't know if anybody else on the panel has seen Mick West's response, but he debunks it, and I agree with him. Absolutely. If you go to any of these knucklehead BBC meteorologists, they're all calling it a superior mirage, a Fata Morgana.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely not what it is. And then you've got people who just look at these clickbait couch potatoes who just go, okay, that's what it is. And they've got no clue.
Yeah.
They've got no clue.
Yeah, well, the BBC is full of so much propaganda at the minute. It is obviously someone has brought up a flat earth thing, and they've decided we have to run with this and we have to answer this before somebody else starts believing it. I found it interesting, the fact that would come up on the BBC now, because, well, David Weiss going around doing so many things. I think he's opening up more people's eyes doing his interviews. So, the fact that they're even addressing it means that there's something going on in the background. Their propaganda.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, we've got something here that goes against the narrative. We've got to put a spin on it somehow.
Well,
anyway, sorry for interrupting.
Oh no, not at all.
I'm,
It's not
I'm
an
enjoying hearing what you're saying, but
yeah. It's not an interruption by any means, because this is an open panel, and the conversation is taking us where it is. Just to piggyback a little bit on what you said, and that is that I came across a video this week from a PhD reference. I've been researching some articles to look up, and one of the names I came across, I contacted him and I said, listen, I'm looking into this. Is there anything that you can point me to? And he gave me a retired PhD man who taught at the University of Wisconsin. And so I contacted him, and he said, well, I don't really have time to talk about anything right now. I'm retired, blah, blah, blah. But you could look this page up on Wisconsin's website, and they have what they call the science bag, and it was basically an open to the public education. You could come in, and a scientist or a professor could lecture on his field. And this Dr. Robert Greenler basically broke down what mirages were and what they did, and it was great stuff in terms of the content. But I disagreed with almost everything that he said, because he's basing his interpretation on the fact that the Earth is curved, and that is part of the reason why I'm saying that the data and the field is wide open for investigation. Because if there is an alternative explanation that has not been falsified, then your explanation right now is still a theory. So
we've got Face 111 in the panel that hasn't said hello yet.
Yeah. I said hello to Aaron already, and he said he was just listening.
Okay.
So
Sorry, Aaron. Keep listening.
But yeah. Anybody else with follow-up thoughts on what was just said?
yes, well, I'm just going to stutter over what I've got to say, but of course, yeah, I agree. There's the fact that people can look into it and have a false a false premise to start with.
Yeah. A confirmation bias, that they're confirming what they already believe.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would go back to the simple one that Dave Weiss would say all the time, where he would say about, I'll double your $1 million and all this here. If you start with a false assumption, and that's what he's starting with, a false assumption that the Earth is a sphere and its curvature, and then he's basing all his data on that. And so I can see what you're saying. Yeah, there may be a lot of truth in what he's saying, but he's starting with a false assumption.
Yeah, you've got to catch them at that point and hold them to it. You can't start there, because you're trying to prove.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit right now. If you have someone who says we're seeing what we're seeing because the Earth is curved, how would you respond? Where would you go with that? How would you try to reasonably get them to take a step back and evaluate their premise?
You're using your proof in your premise to draw the conclusion of your proof. What is it? Modus tollens. If P, then Q, Q therefore P. If the ground outside my house is wet, it must be raining. The ground outside my house is raining. No, it's wet. Therefore, it must be raining. Well, no, the ground is wet because I just washed my car. If you want to prove that the Earth is curved, you can't use in the premise any reference to the Earth being curved. If you use the word hemisphere, when you're trying to prove that the Earth's a sphere, you've failed straight away because hemisphere has the word sphere in it.
Brian, I'm sorry, Mark. Brian, I'm gonna put you on mute, or if you want to mute, because we can hear you tooling around.
Yeah, I don't know how to put it on mute here.
You can look down at your screen where you are signed in by your name, not in the chat, but down at the bottom of the screen.
I think I've done it there, Hada.
There you go. You got it. Yeah. Come back whenever you're ready. Yep. Okay. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah. In your proof that the Earth is a sphere, you can't reference a sphere until you get to your conclusion. So if you use the word hemisphere in your argument, you've already failed because you can't use the word sphere until you get to your conclusion.
All right. Anybody else on the panel?
Yes. Well, you have to assess your subject and how strongly they want to hold on to their belief. I find in the real world, right, when you're talking to real people, you actually do make a lot of progress. Right? Just pointing out simple things like water, your vision, how you can see too far, these sorts of things. And if you're having a normal conversation around a table, sharing a beer or a coffee or whatever the case may be, people will listen, and they are far more open and more receptive to the information that you give them. I experience it all the time. It's only in these forums where you get the pushback. I find a lot of the pushback. But I think in the real world, using words like hemisphere or sphere and whatnot, it doesn't really come into to play for me, really, because you're dealing with real people.
Yes, I know what you mean there, that it depends on the audience around. If someone is thinking that they're going to be judged by other people, they're perhaps going to be more defensive and say what they think the crowd is going to believe. But if you get them one-on-one, you may have a better opportunity to, make them think a little differently, and they'll admit, I don't understand that. Well, could you explain more? So I know what you mean. It could depend on the audience.
Yeah. And I find like one-on-one, you can be far more serious. You can have a serious conversation, right? In a group, if you want to bring it up, I find the best way is, throwing a little bit of comedy in there. Like, you think you live on a big blue spinning testicle, don't you? And they'll just, eyes will light up, and it's like, what? You'll get a smile, you get a grin, and you go from there. And then I'll use my beer as a water level, right? Now, if I tilt it this way or tilt it that way, and you get a few laughs, and it's far more receptive in the conversation. But if you want to have a serious conversation in a group, we always want to get maybe one or two people that'll get their backs up and want to defend it.
Okay. My son can't stand the fact that his dad believes in a flat Earth. He's 32 at the moment, and the last thing he said to me on this subject was, if I was to take you up in a rocket high enough and you looked back and you saw that the Earth is a globe, would you accept it?
the people will hear things and you'll make them question when they're on their own. But in an audience, I find there's very few people take it seriously. I think you do have to be one-on-one to get people to think a bit. They may think about it, but they'll not admit it in front of an audience.
A bit of banter.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's bring it back to the original question, and that is that if you have someone who is arguing for the shape of the Earth, and they assert that we see X because the Earth is curved. All right, I think we heard from Mark, we heard from Bandsaw. How would you evaluate that claim and help that person see the error of their logic? Anyone else?
I think you need to teach them logic first of all.
Okay, anybody else?
I think they are talking logic in their stereometry, and any logic is logic in a certain system, and they want to stay in the side view, in the side view drawings in the book, and project that into their head, and they want to stay there.
All right, so we've got a new. Hold on, just real quick. We've got a new voice to the panel. That's Alexander. If you want to just say hi to everybody, Alexander.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Sorry,
Okay.
Travis. Could I just ask you to restate the question slightly differently?
Oh, I
So
don't.
what
How about we have someone else do that, because I feel like I might just try to. Not that I'll try, but I think I might just end up saying the same thing again. Can anybody else? Go ahead.
What I was going to suggest was saying some. One of the observations I would see would be a lighthouse that is 10 miles away, and I'm seeing almost the bottom of it. Is that what you're trying to say? Is you're seeing the bottom of that lighthouse, even though you shouldn't be able to? It is because of X. Is that the type of thing you're trying to?
Okay. So let me unpack that just a little bit. The place that I would start if I was having a conversation who just asked me that question, my first question would be, what makes you say I shouldn't see the entire lighthouse?
Yeah. Well, that you're asking me that. My understanding is if I am following the curvature formula at that distance, I should not be able to see, say, 66 feet.
Sure. Right. 10 miles, 66 feet. Yep. Good. Yep.
So I mean,
So I'll respond in this way again. I'll say, what curvature? Why are you bringing curvature into this? What do you mean? Where do you get this curve? Why are you bringing that? Why can't I just simply see the lighthouse at 10 miles? Right? So the issue is, if a person says the reason why we are seeing this lighthouse straight down to the base at 10 miles, even though this lighthouse's base is 30 feet above sea level, we should not be seeing 24 feet. But we see straight down to the ground. How do we? What? Ha? Who? Here? Huh? The Earth is curved. I go, ho, 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 whoa, ho. The Earth is what? So you have to go all the way back to the major premise. If you're going to say, we should not see Lighthouse X at 10 miles because the Earth is curved, I'm going to say, how do you know the Earth is curved?
Yeah, where did you get that Earth curve from in the first place?
Right? So it's the major premise that has to be dismantled. It's not the minor premise. It's not that the reason reindeer can fly is because Santa Claus feeds them special food. I'm sorry, who? Who did you... Santa Claus? Okay, let's start there. Where's your evidence for Santa Claus? And then if you can't defend that, then it doesn't give us Flying Smurf what you can say about how he makes reindeer fly. If he doesn't exist, then he can't be feeding the reindeer. So the point that we've been discussing, even though no one has said it, is circular reasoning. Even though Mark alluded to it, it's circular reasoning. It is begging the question. And just for all you pedantic nut jobs out there, okay, when someone says, well, that just begs the question, most often when someone on the street says that, what they mean is, well, that just leads to another question. That's not begging the question. That is not begging the question. That's what people on the street mean by begging the question. But if you're in a debate or if you're in the courtroom, objection, Your Honor, begging the question, that is not what begging the question means. Begging the question refers to the fact that you are assuming your premise in your conclusion, but you haven't proven your premise. Okay? It's very systematic. It's just like Bev. Just like try thinking. Geometry is very, very logical. You don't even need numbers. You just need lines and angles. Okay? So the point that I was trying to get us to, and like I said, Mark touched on it, is that if you're going to make a claim that is a minor claim, a claim that is dependent on a bigger claim, but you haven't proven your bigger claim, then you have no basis to make your minor claim. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Certainly does.
All right.
Yes.
All right. All right. Good. We're all circle jerking each other. That's awesome.
Well, I've never experienced that when talking to real people in a conversation.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The only thing I've ever got as comeback is pictures from space. Yeah, but I've never had anyone turn around to me in a conversation and say, the lighthouse across the ways from me, right? We can't see the bottom of that because of Earth curvature. Never had that in a real conversation.
Yes, I would say most people are not even aware of what their model said, what their model, because we can see Scotland. Mark and I would be able to say we can see Scotland from Belfast Bay, and people go, yeah, of course you can see Scotland. Sure, it's 30, 35 miles away. They don't realize that they shouldn't be able to see it according to their model.
Right, but you know why?
Because they don't know it.
Well, that's okay, sure, that's part of it. But the other part is the seed that was implanted in elementary school that the Earth is so big that it's kind of like, think about it, like if you were an ant on a very, very large ball. They give this word, so they get this word spell, this picture spell. So right away in grade school, they dismantle your critical thinking and say the Earth is so big. So then you don't even think about the fact that when you see the lighthouse, you don't even think because the Earth is so big. Of course I'm seeing it, but the Earth is so, you don't even think about that. Yeah.
I think they emphasize that we're so small more in schools. Right? We're in this vast, endless universe, and we are just an insignificant little point in that. And look how much we have got to explore in front of us. It is just so huge The possibilities are just endless for us insignificant little plebs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what I call the great scale negator. The great scale negator. There's so many things about the heliocentric model that depend on scale that negates, right? It's so big. Well, why can't I feel it spinning? It's so big, bro. You know, you can't feel it because it's so big. It's relative. It's all relative. Well, why can't I? Why can't? It's all relative, and it has to do with scale.
It's all the really, really big numbers and all the really, really numbers you just can't possibly understand.
Yeah, it's just repeating what I had said there about they don't know the model. I mean, it's again, when you try to tell them some of the speeds and the distances and it's completely new to them, because unless they've looked into this, they're unaware of it. And as you said, they'll just go back to, yep, I remember something vaguely long ago that they said that. That's what I'm going to bring up now. They're not really thinking about what the actual fact is. When you tell them, do you know that we're rotating at 66,000 miles per hour? And it's, how can you even fathom what that means? And but I'll just say, they would just go, well, you don't feel it because we're moving at a constant speed. You go, we're not moving at constant speed according to your model.
Yeah.
So they don't know these things.
Yep. Well, but see, that's the misdirection, right? Again, go back to grade school. I remember doing this, guys. I remember, and it would have to be because I just learned it in school. I remember traveling with my grandparents to go fishing for the summer. We went up to Northern California to one of my old school. Just love this place. Absolutely love it. By the way, guys, I know that you're going to be jealous, but I don't give a shit. I am going to spend the month of April in Northern California harvesting cannabis and getting paid for it. It's going to be absolutely delicious. Anyway, my point is that I remember being in the back of my grandfather's camper, right? So he's got a truck, and then he's got the camper shell on it. And it's got a tiny little aisle that leads from the door to the front of the camper where you can climb up into the overhead for sleeping and all that. I remember jumping up and expecting the back of the truck to hit me. I remember doing that. Now, the only reason why I would do that is because I probably just learned that in science. And so you've got the whole conservation of momentum, right? But if my grandfather, at the same moment, had to swerve to hit a car, I would have been fucked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Totally screwed. So, yeah, exactly. They give you a misdirection that you're traveling in a linear path when you're not.
Yeah, it's funny when you tell people, when they bring that up, where you say, oh yes, when you're traveling in a straight line, you don't feel any of this. But as soon as you mention, but if you were holding water in your hand and you turned the corner, it would slosh all over the place. Well, I don't know if you've seen the program Top Gear, but where they do that, where they actually get in and they get them to hold liquid and it slushes. So that would be an image we would probably have in our mind. And instantly you say, but if you turn the corner and the water would go all over the place, they realize that's true. But it's just the spell is so good that they believe that we are traveling at a constant speed.
Well, listen,
don't realize we're not.
Yeah. So listen. So to piggyback on what Bandsaw said, when I was over the road trucking and I had the route of all routes, guys. I mean, if I could go back in time, I would not have quit this route, but I thought I was making a decision that was going to be right, and I just didn't. But anyway, I had this route where I went up for 2 or 3 days to a location in Massachusetts. in a small little town called Lowell, Massachusetts. It was a textile town. They built their own canals to power the industry of textile. They were like I think they did cotton and linen. By the way, Kurt Vonnegut has a memorial there in Lowell, Massachusetts. But I found this fantastic Tres Montes, right? Three Mountains pizzeria. Just great pizza, great beer. And I did the exact same thing that Bandsaw did. I had conversations with people about Flat Earth using a beer glass and the beer. And I had one couple, a guy and a girl. I would sit for a couple minutes and just kind of scope out and see what's happening. This couple was next to me. After a few minutes of silence or whatever, I felt like it was a good time. I said, "Hey, you guys mind if I start a conversation that I think you guys will find really disturbing?" You know what I mean? That's what I said. How would you like to have the most disturbing conversation you've ever had? They're like, "Whoa, yeah, fuck yeah. What do you want? What are you going to talk about? What the hell?" At the end of that conversation, okay, this guy said to me, "I am so glad that you talked to us. This was the most interesting conversation that I can ever remember having." Now, I've had conversations like that in that same bar. They have never gone sour. Never gone sour. Now, I don't know where those people are, but I planted the gospel. I was a gospel preaching believer at that moment. You know what I mean? But my point is that in real life, with people who aren't on the defense, I think you can have a really productive conversation.
And at the same time, you can make it fun.
Exactly.
Which is important.
Exactly.
Which is important, right? You can have a few laughs, and if you've got a smile on your face, you are so much more receptive to receiving whatever information is coming your way, right? Because you have a smile on your face, you're open. You're open to having more of that energy in you, right? Because you want it, right? If you go in there hot, bang, 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 straight away, people are frowning, they've got their hands crossed, they're defensive and whatnot, and you ain't going to get anywhere. You will not get anywhere. You just go round, 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 round in circles.
Yeah. Yeah, you just
I don't know whether it's short a story, but since people are sharing of it, Mark, I want to take pictures of the Isle of Man from there, but
I think you're breaking up, Brian. I'm sorry, Brian. I'm sorry.
P900, and I was going, and I met this man.
Is Brian breaking up for anybody else? I'm sorry, Brian. Is Brian breaking up for anybody else?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, carry on. I'm sorry, Brian. I just want to make sure you were being heard.
Yes, well, it just happened to be that a man had saw me with the camera, and he says, "That's some camera," and I says, "You wouldn't believe what I'm about to do." And I started to tell him I was an older. His son, his wife, and the child, a young lad, they all stood around. Now, the older man was so adamant that I was wrong. So he really fascinating. I want to know more. And the young lad that was standing there, the earth. I mean, because people circumnavigate. And then when I said map, I said, "That's like a flat earth." And he went, "Oh my." So I mean, now you had one person within the conversation who just wanted to have, no matter what height, but what about this? See, explain this. So you can have interesting conversations, but it all depends on.
It's all about the first question that you ask them as well. How intellectual that question is, just to let them think that their position is not just, it's not based on logic, but on what they've been told.
Travis, are these all your pictures? I'm interested to hear more about them.
Yeah, so these are images that I captured with the infrared camera that BMLS B69, that's his YouTube channel, BMLS 69, Bo is his name. And back in 2000, he and I met up in Santa Barbara, California, and he lent me his P900, which he had converted into an IR camera. So I had the IR camera for about 4 days or so, and so these are just a conglomeration of images that are shooting. All of these images are shooting up north from my typical position in Amawood, and it's about 25 miles away or so. This one right here that's just on the screen right now, that's the Anacapa Islands, so it's going back and forth between the two. But yeah, so these are IR images. If you look close enough as this comes along, you'll see the band. You'll see the AEtherband in the distance as a clear demarcation for the environment where these phenomena happen. But this is now the beginning of the thread right here. That was the first shot, and now it's going to go through the entire reel of the day that I shot out. Like, you see that right there? Oh, listen, can I stop this? Okay, so you see this right here, everybody? Can you guys see where I stopped it?
Your sound's breaking up.
Am I breaking up for everybody else? Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Breaking up from me, Travis.
I'm breaking up.
Breaking up.
Oh man. Trying to see if there's anything I can kill. I really don't have anything open that's gonna kill this stream. I don't know why. Does anybody else hear me okay with no
problems? Are you
problems?
speaking, Travis? Because you were breaking up. I don't know if you're speaking.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you're really choppy for me, Travis.
All right, carry on without me.
Well, go ahead. Someone else carry.
So is that a band we're looking at there, or is that lighter area in the middle? Is that a band, or is that some sort of landmass in the distance?
That's what I was trying to say.
Go ahead. You're coming in clear now.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I was trying to say that this infrared has captured the band. That is the band right there.
That's pretty clear.
That is where Bansal and I were looking at images the other night. This obviously is another day, but that's exactly the same field of view, the same arena, the same area where the horizon issues happen. Now, this is my hypothesis right now, and I'm just going to pitch it, guys. I'm not ashamed. I've got a GoFundMe. All right? If you understand the nature of the consequences of what we're talking about right now, and you have the money to freely give, whatever amount it is, I don't care. It could be $1. I don't care. I could use 100 viewers that have $1. That's great. The science of what we're looking at right now has been interpreted for us and presented to us as though we are looking at a ball. And I'm saying no. So I have a GoFundMe. The link is in the description. And I'm about 2/3 the goal that I set. I've got about $1,500 that you guys have given, and that's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, so the band that we're looking at right now is what you would read about in Andrew Thomas Young. He would call that the astronomical horizon, because the half of the screen above, which is a darker pink, is the celestial arena. And we all know that we've heard about the fact that mariners don't really take into account, and they don't measure anything at a certain degree above the horizon, and you're looking at it. You're looking at it. Now, this is my hypothesis. The limit to the sky above, which would be the dark pink, the limit to that sky when it turns light pink, that's where the actual horizon is. Now, if you looked at that with your naked eye, you're not going to see that ever. 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 But you're going to see crazy shit happen at that degree, and you're not going to know why. So, when we look at the horizon that is established by the water, and we've got refraction there, and we see these wonky boats, wonky ships, wonky lighthouses, whatever. When we see crazy things happening at that level in our proximity, imagine that the distance continues behind those ships, which, according to perspective, rises, right? What you're looking at, I'm sorry, I'm going to geek out right now. I'm just going to puke all over everybody right now. What you're looking at right now is the cause for the distortion. Shit, I lost it. What was I going to say? Okay, so let me go back to what I know what I was going to say. If there were a ship on this horizon, and there's distortion at that point, but the distance continues behind that ship and rises toward eye level. Now I brought it back. What you're looking at right now is why the horizon will never rise to your eye level. Listen again, everybody. Cut this part out and post the shit out of what I'm just about to say. I'm going to give you 10 seconds. 5. No, that's 5. 10. 9. 8. So I'm gonna fast forward. Okay, look. The reason why the horizon never rises to eye level is because the horizon is actually at least at the top of that light band. Let that sink in. Absolutely. Because if I could wipe away that inferior mirage, or I'm sorry, if I could wipe away that atmospheric phenomenon, if I could wipe away the AEtherband, you would see the water at the higher level. I would take a kick to both shins with pointy boots for that claim. Absolutely. But she would have to be. She'd have
Let
to
me
be
try.
really
Let me
beautiful.
let me try a pointy boot.
Go ahead.
Wait.
Wait. I'm sorry, Alexander. You've got to mute your watch page.
You mean YouTube?
Yes.
It's muted.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. What I have been thinking for a long time. By the way, this is more or less 50 millimeters because I see the edge of the ocean, right?
50 millimeters. Are you talking about the focal length?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna click the file information right now. Let's see how good you are.
And if it's zoom, it's not a really big zoom.
39 millimeter.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead. Yep, go ahead.
So in my experience, from that kind of focal length, the horizon is at eye level overall because apart from mist and fog and the distortion is in a very small band at the end of the perspective. And what I've been thinking for some time now, because the main culprit for me is water particles in the atmosphere, and beneath that band, I agree with you that the band is something, and very much so. I don't want to make it too pointy.
Yeah. I appreciate it. That was great. That was a great line. Thank you.
I don't want your mustache to go down. But the water is reflective. And when I imagine water particles into the distance, because it gets compressed in the distance, the water particles get closer to each other, and they slowly, in distance, it becomes more like a curtain. And I think that the surface of the water reflects light upward, and that gives reflection on these water particles, depending on the light, the amount of light, and the direction of the light, and that can create something like, for instance, you can project slides on a transparent paper or that kind of surfaces, half transparent glass or white glass, or and that is what I'm thinking is happening also, because there are different effects.
Yeah,
and there is, if you implement perspective, there is a slight compression from the bottom up, but in 50 millimeter view or camera obscura view, it's very small. It's in the very distance. But when you zoom in, in the field of view, the height and the width gets stretched up, but the distance gets compressed.
Okay.
And I think that in many cases, maybe standard, but definitely because of atmospheric, there is many times magnification, which brings the horizon closer.
Yeah. Okay.
And that the objects get bigger in comparison with the horizon. So the effect of disappearing from the bottom up will become bigger, because it halves in distance. I put that in LibreCAD, I heard that for the first time from Sleeping Warrior and it's very close to halving the angle
Yep.
to
Yep.
doubling the distance.
Yep.
Very
Yep.
very close.
Yep.
It's a little bit off closer by, and it becomes more and more like that into the distance.
Yeah, I can completely understand what you're saying, and I don't have any disagreement. I think that this is another demonstration, another evidence that this field needs to be reinvestigated. And so everything that you've just said is absolute gold. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I can show it, but I have energy issues and mental issues. But I'm getting more and more convinced now, and I'm happy that I have held it back a little bit. But in the near future, I will come with something. Okay?
And I will be waiting with bated breath. Does anybody else have anything that they want to follow up on with what Alexander just talked about? Anybody have any thoughts?
I'm going to bring it back to the simple man's thing, because I think I understood what was being said, but I'm not fully up on the language. But interestingly enough, just what it brought to my mind, I was driving one day recently there, and there was a little bit of fog about, and the moon was up in the sky. And now I know this may sound that it's going off a tangent, but there was a mountain in the foreground, and as the moon got close to the mountain and actually set behind it, it enlarged so much. And then I drove past the mountain, and suddenly the moon was away in the distance, and it shrank.
Yeah.
And so it was just, to me, it was there's a magnification, and I don't know if it was the combination of it appearing to set behind the mountain, or the moisture in the air, or whatever it was, but I just did notice that, and I'm trying to bring it back to a simple level to show that there could be magnification, and water molecules and everything could make a difference in that horizon line.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Good. Anybody else? So if I can try to break it down, can you see my screen right now, everybody?
Yep.
Okay.
You're drawing the line?
Yeah, so what I'm trying to depict is a little bit of what Alexander was talking about, and that is that when you're looking over a flat extended plane, the distance gets compressed into the angle that you're looking. So the reality of what we're seeing right here on the screen right now, I've got two boxes above and below. So a baller, or really anybody, I suppose, who is not familiar with this discussion, is going to assume that what they're looking at here with these sails of a sailboat is that they are looking at a 100% 90-degree vertical angle. That is, they think that the white image of these sails is physical, every single inch. So if right here at the water, if those are physical sails, if this is what is represented to you in reality, where is the hull? Well, it can only be down here. But if you're familiar with an inferior mirage, then this is where the mirage begins. That black line, that lateral line, that is where the mirage begins. That is where the hull of the sailboat is. And if there were people on that boat, they would be right there in front of your eyes. So, what is the obstruction? The obstruction is the conditions of the medium through which you are looking. The inferior mirage at the vanishing line, the reason why, gentlemen, the reason why they call it the vanishing line is because the physical reality behind that perspective is still there. It has just been, to verbalize a noun, vanished, or to verbalize an adjective, to make an adverb, it has been vanished. Okay? So everything within this acute angle is not a vertical image. This image that you're looking at here, from the top to right here, that is vertical. But once you get to the mirage, that is now changed to the x-axis and is now depth. So, if I draw a horizontal here, okay, the distance or the degree from the horizon to that line is perspective. You're looking over distance, but it looks vertical. And no one is talking about this. No one. I just watched, and I'm going through a video this week where the guy breaks down inferior mirages, and he does a great job. But he doesn't touch on this. That either shows me he has not asked this question, or he's intentionally hiding it. I don't see any way around it. Anybody? Yeah, go ahead.
No, well, I'm just going to ask a question where you've drawn the line, because I'm not fully understanding if I'm the image. Yeah, I understand all what you said there, but I'm looking over to the left-hand side of the image. Where is that just simply a wave? That's simply a wave over here. That's initially when I was looking at it, I thought that was perhaps a bit of land that was above. Yes, that simply a wave.
So I would say that possibly, and again, because this is a still image, I would have to look at a video.
Yeah.
But
no, if what you're saying's correct, and I would assume it would be, because I've seen similar things. It was just when I originally saw the image, what I thought I was seeing was a boat, and there was a bit of land over in the left-hand side. But
I would be very, very comfortable saying that is the distant land of Port Hueneme.
Yeah.
Okay.
So would it be doing a similar thing then, or what?
I'm sorry. Say that again. It's doing what?
What I'm saying. Is there a mirage in the middle of that then? So are we?
Yes.
Seeing the,
yeah, but see, relativity is a real thing, gentlemen. Relativity is absolutely valid.
Yeah.
Okay? It's just when you go away from reality where you break down. So just like this boat right here you can... Okay, let me do this over again.
When you're saying relativity, are you meaning... well, what I'm understanding there from what your sentence is, perhaps perspective. I mean, that land is much more distance.
Yes.
So, therefore, although it would be much bigger, so what I'm understanding is there is a sort of reflection, but because the land is so distant, we're not really been able to see how much of it.
Okay, so that goes back into what Alexander, if you're still here, you can talk about this a little bit if you want to, but that's exactly what Alexander was talking about. The degree of angle here is compressed.
Yeah.
Okay. So exactly, this is where I would put the vanishing line for the Mirage at this distance, which is lower than the black line. Why is it lower than the black line? Because this is closer.
Yeah.
Okay? So you have a clear shape here. These sails come down. It's not going to be to scale. Please forgive me. Okay? Yeah. You've got that shape right there. Yep. And then let's see if I can do this. I don't know. Let me try to do this again and flip it. I'm going to flip that image. Give me a second. Rotate. Okay. So, in my opinion, I could argue for an inferior Mirage here based on this shape. These sails come down at an angle and then go back. Now, the degree at which you are seeing this image is so acute that you cannot see the full image of the sail. So, this whole image here that you're seeing is an effect of the conditions of the medium that you're looking through. And for this object here, this sailboat, that's where the fold line is. That's where the vanishing line is. Now for, let's see if I can do a better, I'll just do black. Make Aaron Moorfield happy. At this distance, so here is the boat at this distance, and then we're moving farther and farther and farther away into this distance. Now, what's interesting is it's not rising up, right? It's not rising up. It's back here, lower, and that to me is where I would put if this is Port Hueneme. If this is Port Hueneme, that's ground level, baby. Okay, because Port Hueneme has no mountains. The mountains are back here in the foothills. So we've got two different perspectives on the distance. But I guess to go back, I've kind of lost a little bit of what you were saying. But this image right here, I would cut that right here and say that above this is Port Hueneme. And when you get out here, okay, here's where the psychedelia comes in. So, let's see if I can do this. Switch my arrow. This land is closer to me. As I'm going this way, I'm not just moving laterally. That's distance. Right here, I don't see any land. Right here, I see land. Why don't I see land here? Because I have just increased the density across a horizontal viewing plane. There's still land here. That's Camarillo back there, baby. That's Camarillo. But I can't see it. Why not? Because the conditions of the medium are too thick at that distance. And if I were able to see something back there, we would have another vanishing line at that point.
Yep.
But to me, this is a little bit backwards, right? Because we would think that the horizon would rise to eye level. But we've got this distant land here, and it's lower than this, which means that there's more than just one effect going on. You cannot just say, oh, that's looming. No. There are numerous effects happening at once.
Just quickly going back to that little yacht there, Travis, with what you were suggesting with that Mirage having depth. This is what we were talking where I was saying a couple of days to you, where I think the mirage has been projected forward. Same sort of thing. Yeah, it's got depth, not just your height that you're looking at your image.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
But you're suggesting that the depth isn't from back to front; it's from front to back. Kind of opposite what I was suggesting. Yeah.
Yeah. If I understand what you're saying, and again, open panel. If anybody has anything to say, feel free. Please jump in. Yes, this is front to back. Front to back.
Okay.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you're suggesting it's the mirage has been projected front to back, where I was suggesting a couple of days ago it's from back to front coming towards us. You're suggesting it's going away from us.
Well, I hear what you're saying, right? That tweaks the melon. My melon is being tweaked right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get what you're saying, so I would say it's both. We have to understand we have to understand that front to back is the physical distance behind the apparition, and the back to front is the apparition, and the apparition makes it look as though it is vertical. But I would say, okay, great, Bandsaw, that's great, man, absolutely. So now let's flip this, and it's both, bro. Hold on. Let me do this. Okay, so that's so tricky to do this. Ooh, the Star of David. Uh-oh. Okay, look. So okay, so that image that's right there is the three-dimensional reality that we're looking over distance. But the apparition is presenting itself just like you said.
Okay, yeah.
But either way, it's not 90 degrees.
No.
That's pretty crazy. Somebody take a screenshot of that. We are making history right now, fellas. We are making history right now.
Travis.
Yes, sir.
Was it stated that that on the left there is land in the distance? Because I think it's the same effect that you recorded when you in the morning you had this skyline filled up slowly. You know what I mean? That it first was a small band of darkness above the sky.
Can we slow down real quick, Alexander? Let me ask you, what is it that you're talking about? I can't.
Yeah. What was it? Was it stated that was land?
Okay, so based on what I've seen in some of the images that I have watched, I feel comfortable saying that this is very possibly land here. Yes.
Because I thought also, but then I see near the boat the same effect. It's as if a part of the water is.
Yeah. I get you. Okay, so let's do this real quick.
So I doubt it.
Okay, so right here, we've got no land behind us. We've got a line. We have sky, apparent water. So I'm gonna draw that line.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay. So we do have now then something elevated right here. All right?
I don't follow.
Well, if we have the ocean level here.
Yeah.
Ocean level. this line is ocean level all the way across, but here we have an elevated dark image.
Yeah.
Okay, that's land.
No, I think it's water.
Okay. I again, the only way I think to evaluate that is if we had a video of this, and I could tell you because of the snapshot, or I'm sorry, of the file that is playing through these slideshows. I was not using my camera as a video at this moment. It was just all snapshot stills. So the only way to say that, and this then would be a wave, right? A wave that is elevating itself,
Yeah,
and
or it's peeping through the mirage.
well, the only way that it can do that is if it's elevated, and the only thing that I've ever seen happen on the surface of water, like, okay, if I start here, and we
Put it.
hold on, just real quick. I'm sorry, just real quick. So as we move along from right to left, we have a light little schmutz right here, whatever this is. Oops.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's in the water, because right here we've got the water level, and down here below the water level we have some sort of dance. We have that same thing here, but in a long extended. I would say this is a trough and a crest of a wave. Okay? But at this point over here, we don't have a trough or a crest. We have something right here, and we have something right here. But when we get over here, the trough and the crest is not low, but high. So in my opinion, this would be too high to be a wave. But again, Alexander, your point is a valid point to make. Okay?
Oh, then I'm happy.
Okay. And please,
That's
gentlemen.
what I want to hear. I keep my mouth shut, so.
Oh, no, not at all. Please carry on for a moment. I've got to go use the little boy's room.
Because that line is still beneath the breaking point of the sea of the.
How's everybody doing out there in YouTube land? Thank you so much for being a part of this show. I hope you guys are having a productive chat. Sorry I am not able to multitask. I just can't do it. But looks like you guys are having a good time out there. Dan the Waterman, shout out to you. I'm probably talking over these guys, so. All right, I'm going to go back to the back.
Also, some of the reflection can peep through. Like in the foreground, you see also white and dark. Okay.
Yep.
All right, I'm back. Do you want me to bring up any helpful pointers? Anything?
Well, I mean, I'm just enjoying listening to hear the people discussing about it, because I say I'm wanting to learn, but I'm new to it. I'm just going on a reaction to what I'm seeing here in front of me. I didn't know the video he was referring to.
When you say video, did I miss?
Was it Alex was
Yeah,
speaking?
yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
well, do you want to refer to the video you were talking about? Because I didn't know which one.
Yeah, I did refer it just a while ago when Travis was still there. That he, at the morning, he made an observation with one of the platforms, and there slowly above the waterline there was a small band of dark coming up, and it filled up from the waterline.
I think I know what you're talking about. So give me just a second. I'll pull that up. Yeah. Hold on, I don't like that player. Hold on. All right, is this reminiscent of what you're talking about? Is this enough information? Checking back. Anybody check. Can you hear me?
Check. Yeah.
Does this look reminiscent of what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna stop it right here and debunk any whiners or complainers. This is not out of focus. Okay? That's not out of focus.
Is the oil platform on fire?
What's
this one we were looking at a few days ago, Travis?
Yes, sir.
The same one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's really fun is to listen to me talk out loud as I'm seeing this for the first time and like talk to myself about what I'm seeing. Okay, so let me do this real quick. I wish I could figure out how to do drawings in here. I don't know if VLC. I don't think VLC can let me do that. But what I would do at this moment is to draw a triangle from the top of this dark line down, because that's what we're doing right now. We are looking over distance. This line right here is not the horizon. This is. This is where the horizon extends. Except when you go back 10 seconds or farther, where'd it go? Where'd it go? So you've got the horizon right here, and then Rumpus, please give me the mathematical equation for this, please. I'll wait. I'll pay you for your time. I won't. Can you can you math this for me? What's happening right here and what's happening right here? So my point is, if you go back and watch this as much as I do, the dynamic motion of what's happening here is happening up here as well. But my point is if I could put a triangle in here from all the way down, we are looking over distance. Distance, that is not the horizon. Distance. And look at the degree of this. This is a massive degree. Massive.
Yeah, well, just interesting when you're showing that. That's when I saw those images of the floating ships. That's what I was going. To me, I was seeing the horizon further than what the line, what they were saying was it's floating above the sea.
Yeah.
And it was something similar to that.
Right.
That's where you were. To me, I was going, well, no, the horizon is further back than what the image appears to be showing. And that does a good illustration of what I was thinking in my mind.
Okay. Pause, yo. Why isn't this pausing? Okay, so what I'm going to show you right now, let me look back at it. This is 10 seconds back. Hold on, I'm just going to try to catch it. Okay. Right here where my mouse is, right here at 124. Okay, so I'm going to back up 10 seconds. Okay, so we're going to back up 10 seconds. We're going to play it through. Right here, you're going to see a pelican dive down into the water. Now, I can't see the bird, but I've seen pelicans dive down, and I'm going to assert that that's what it is. Now, the reason why I'm going to say that at this point is because at this point, we have water right here. And we see this splash right here. But in 1 minute and 40 seconds, up here where we see sky, we're going to see another splash up here. Because all of this is going to fill in. All of this is going to fill in. Okay? So I'm going to back up 10 seconds. I want you to keep your eye just a little bit off center. I'm not going to keep playing it over and over again to kill it, but just watch off center. Don't look right here. Just look off to the left or right. You'll see it, okay? I'm going to back up 10 seconds. 5. Boom. Saw it?
Yep.
Okay, I got one yep. That's all I need. Yep.
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
great. Yep. Okay. So now I'm just going to let it play through, and when it gets to 3 minutes and 6 seconds, I'll let you know when we got a 10-second countdown. I'm just going to play this through because I think this is absolutely brilliantly gorgeous. So it is what it is. Now look over to the left. You see the two vantage points reaching toward each other? Look at that.
Yep.
It's not happening here. Oh, well, the thermal inversion is actually doing a triple somersault, triple Lindy backflip with a twist. Okay, I'm going to stop it right now. Everything is right here. This oil platform is all right here. Well, what's this, Travis? What's this? Don't you think that? No, that's a mirage. That is a mirage. This entire platform is right here.
It looks as if it's lacking the video.
Lagging?
Yeah, it stays in the same position.
For you guys?
Yeah.
No. It's fine for me, Travis.
Okay. Okay.
For the support.
Okay, can you all appreciate why I need at least 5 cameras? I mean, I'm trying to do this with 1. But if I had 4 other people that are shooting other things at the same time, we would have so much to compare to, right? Because there's developments here that I can't capture because look what's going on over here to the left. What's going on over here? I can't see everything at once. All right, here we go. This is going to be a 7-second countdown, okay? 7 seconds. Yeah. Look off center, off center, off center.
There she blows.
Did you see it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to play it again. I'll stop it right when I think it's going to happen. Okay, now I'm going to creep forward frame by frame.
All right.
You see it?
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Right here where my mouse is, that's where the horizon was a minute ago. And we saw the pelican splash down over here in the water. But now where the sky was, we've got the same exact observation. A bird just dove down into the water. But this was the sky. This is not a mirage. This is not the mirage. Now, right here at this moment, if I showed you this and said I'm at the Pacific Ocean in Ventura, you would have no problem saying I'm looking at the horizon right here. Where's Al Baruni when you need him? Where's Al Baruni? Al Baruni, anybody? Anybody? Okay, look at right here. This right here, that's the mirage. That sky mirage right here, okay? Pete Shea, this is not the water reflecting this image of the sky. That is not the water. Where'd it go? Wait a minute, what? Wait, ho.
Shout out Mirror Water Lair.
Shout out Retracted. What's going on, Aaron? Man, I'm gonna see you in about 2 weeks, bro.
Yeah, you know where I'm at.
I do.
Oh, yeah.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to get through this frame. Hold on. All right, so we've got okay. Look, we have full development over here on the right. We've got this wispiness here to the left. Man, this takes forever. Going frame by frame. I think I froze up. Yeah. Hold on. All right. I stopped it as close as I can. So we had full development over here. Here is the horizon. That's where the horizon is. This is where the mirage starts to be. I'm sorry. Can you math that for me, please? Math that for me. Tell me what the inversion's doing right there. What's the inversion doing right there? And where did the I'm sorry, where did the horizon go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Okay, so that's why I said earlier, Alexander, and I can even see it right here. I can see this little smoggy band right there. Okay, so if I could even be a little bit more assertive, that's not even the horizon, fellows. It's up here. It's still going. Still fucking going. We should be able to see New York from Ireland. Why can't we see New York from Paris? Okay, now this, okay, this is Platform Gale, and she stops physically right here where my mouse is. That's where she physically stops. Everything right here is the Mirage. Because, again, this is where the horizon was earlier. Okay, so the island, boink, that's the island. You've got a clear inferior Mirage right here. Okay, so whatever's going on here, this is not the full image. But what it is distance. But no one, gentlemen, is talking about the fact that, okay, look, if we went over to the left more, where there was no platform and just the island, you would think that you're looking at the island all the way down. All the way down. And which would mean it's a vertical image. Top of the island, bottom of the island. Where's the bottom? We can't see the shoreline. Oh, it's down here somewhere. Down here behind the curve somewhere. No. The bottom of the island is right here. Right there. Hard time resolving this. This was about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, so the light was not that great. That's out of focus. That's out of focus. That's out of focus. That's not out of focus. That is Lady AEtherband right there, baby. And I love her. I love you. I love you. Okay, now, if we stop here... If we stop here, okay? Is everybody okay with me just going where I'm going?
Yep.
Okay.
Go, go, go. Go, go, go.
Okay, so we're here at 4 minutes and 27 seconds. So you know what? Let me go one more second because that's my birth time. 4/28 is my birthday. In case everybody's wondering. 4/28. April 28th. Okay, so... this is the image that we have right here. If I showed you this image... Relatively speaking, you would say, okay, there's the horizon, there's the platform, blah, blah, blah. I'm good with that, okay? Let's go back to the beginning. Okay? This is Lady AEtherband. She is lifting her skirts right now. She's teasing us, gentlemen. She's such a little minx. She's so coy. Okay, there we go. Oh. Okay. So, I'm itching my eye right now. I can't multitask. I can't talk and itch my eye at the same time. Okay, so here is the actual horizon line, and it is freaking dynamic. Look at this. Wonk. That is not a physical wave. That's freaking AEtherband shenanigans, okay? But my point is, this is where the water line is. Look at this degree. Look at this freaking degree, bro. That's crazy. That is distance. Anyway, okay, this is the image at 23 seconds. Now, this is what the books will tell you. The physical platform is actually down here. It's down here. and it's being stretched up like silly putty up here. Oh, well, why can't it be the opposite? Why can't this be, excuse my fucking language, an inferior fucking mirage? Okay? This is why, everybody, I am saying that every mirage that you see is an inferior mirage. They have all been misclassified because this is not a mirage if you look up Andrew Thomas Young. This is towering, which means that the physical image is down here and it's being stretched up. So this is a hologram. No, sir. No. This is the hologram. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. This is an inferior mirage. If we flipped this image upside down and had the right angle of degree, we would see the top of this platform down here inverted.
How would I prove you wrong?
I have no clue. No clue. I don't know. How do you falsify anything? Beats me. Okay, but now here we are. Now, everything is filled back in. And where did the lakes go? Where'd they go? Because this is the level of this up here. It's not the level down here. This didn't go up. Look at this down here. This is the top of Santa Cruz Island right here. You see this little light patch right here?
Yep.
That's this right here. Stretched to all Shinola. That's not even scalable. You can't even scale that. This little patch right here is inverted and stretched to hell. This is an inferior mirage right here, gentlemen. This right here is the top of the island. There it is right here, and there it is reverted. You have an inverted image and then reverted. You've got a fucking reversed Fata Morgana right here.
That's what I was just about to ask now, because to me, that part below the line, it looks as though it's mirroring a game.
Yes. And yes. I sent this video with no commentary. I put music to it and sent it as is to Andrew Thomas Young. And he had no answer. This guy, who is retired and too old to meet with me without a mask because he's concerned for his health, this guy had no clue. No clue. Now, I'm not saying I had a clue, but I could at least make some suggestions. He didn't even have that. All he said was, that's very interesting, and I would love to look at it more. And he's never gotten back to me on it. That blows my mind. Absolutely blows my smurfing mind. Listen to me. If I had a PhD in a field, and some Yahoo redneck truck driver caught some shit that I'd never seen before, you better bet my ass I'd be trying to figure out how to get this guy on my team. All right, we're only 4 minutes in. Okay, so now everything is filled in. Right here, where my cursor is, that's where the horizon used to be. Now, this is all in real time. What I would like you to do right now, gentlemen, I don't know really what's going to happen. I could show you. I think Aaron knows and Bandsaw knows. If you can find a way to mark off where this rigging is on the screen, try to mark that off on the side of your screen or your monitor or whatever. Just keep an eye on that. I'm going to speed this up a little bit if my load can handle it. This is twice the speed. There's a reason why SE Montreal says this is the greatest proof of the AEtherband ever. Okay, never mind. I'm moving. Sorry, scratch that. When we get back to it, you're going to have to do that again. I apologize.
Remark.
I'm just keeping you on your toes, gentlemen. Curveball. He just threw us a curveball. All right, let's see if I can go four times the speed. Okay, my camera is not moving. This is 4 times speed. Can you see what's happening right now? Can you see what's happening right now?
Mm-hmm. She's dancing all over the place.
Not only that,
Little jig.
She's not dancing all over. She's dropping. The entire field of view is dropping. Gentlemen,
she's taking a bow.
Which direction would my camera have to be moving if I were manipulating this image? My camera would have to be going up.
Oh, sorry, I thought that was a rhetorical question.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. The entire field of view, gentlemen. This is 4 times speed. That's not what we see. We see this in real time, which is basically slow motion. You're not going to see this with your naked eye. And right here, above the horizon, we can see through the base of this platform to the sky. That means this entire platform is right here. All of that is compression. The feet of this platform are right here. Travis, you can't tell me that the wind turbines are compressed into that image. Oh yeah? Watch me make that claim. Back over here, remember this from before? That light band of topography is right here. And we saw it inverted and stretched out down here. Now look over here to... Oh, no, well, whatever. Now the mirage is coming back. And now it's not towering. This is an inferior mirage.
Is this happening over minutes?
Okay, so we're at minute 13. Yes, this is happening over minutes. This is 4 times speed. I'll slow it down to to normal speed now. This is normal speed.
I'm just saying it's interesting that where you would imagine it was a time lapse over hours, and this is actually just happening over minutes.
Yeah, but so slow and relative, you can't tell.
Yeah, that's what's so good about the 4 times spy. It makes it so pronounced. Exactly what you're seeing.
Now, what's going to be crazy later on, gentlemen, is that there's going to be a ship right here where my cursor is. There's going to be a ship that you're going to see come in and out. Just, it's oh so subtle. A dark band where the hull is all compressed. And down here where this line is, you're going to see its inversion here. Just going to give you a heads up. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. See if I can see when it first comes in, because I didn't ever look at when it first showed up.
You know, Travis, in your observations, if you just bumped up the shadows slightly,
I can't
just
do it right now with VLC.
no,
VLC tanks.
okay.
No,
I know. I'm just saying, if you just did, it would help your observations quite a bit.
Yeah.
Just a slight bringing up of the shadows, it will just provide you more detail.
I hear you, bro. I would need some kind of more power. I've got a 4-cylinder. I need a Hemi.
Okay, well,
I need a Hemi.
I'll tell you, you can download DaVinci Resolve. It's a free program.
Okay.
It's not too intensive, but it's free for PC and Mac. It's a professional editing application. It will allow you to add color easily and export a video to your desktop, all for free.
Okay.
You don't ever have to use VLC ever again. DaVinci Resolve.
DaVinci. It's so hard for me to try to learn a new program, but I've looked. I know about DaVinci at least by name, so I'll try to spend some time doing that and see if I can get it to where.
In my experience, it's very heavy on your.
If you're gonna do color grading, yeah, but if you're just bringing up the contrast and you're running it through into delivery, it should be fine.
Yeah, Travis, if you're just looking for on-the-fly video manipulation, picture manipulation that doesn't take up a bunch of weight on your, on your computer, KM Player, KM, capital K, capital M Player, is a really good one I found. It does all sorts of rendering too, and all sorts of stuff. No disrespect to data, but I'm sure that DaVinci thing's probably a little bit more involved than you're just looking for a good player that on the fly you can change, certain aspects and shit. So it supports all formats. It's a Korean player, made out of South Korea, and the Koreans do. They do it right. So
okay, I just jotted those both down, so I'll try to see what I can do with those.
It's interesting for me watching this image for the first time. I mean, I would think that was a boat floating along in the water because it just seems to be bobbing up and down.
And again, if anybody has anything you want to say, just jump in anytime.
Just increasing the magnification. The more the atmosphere increases in the temperature differential or the inversion, it looks like it's magnifying more. Not. It's like a compression. Magnifying. I don't know if it's compression or magnification is the right adjective, but.
All right, I'm sorry. I just saw the flash right here. Okay, so if you can see this dark band right here.
Yeah.
This is where the ship. I'm gonna back up this VLC. When I backtrack, it goes 10 seconds back. Okay, so this is 10 seconds back. Okay, so right now there's nothing there. Right there was a white flash. Right there was a red flash. The ship just came in. Right here is the ship. Right here is the ship. Right there. Right there. Right there. That is a ship. Okay. And now it's gone. Right? Internal reflection right there. Internal reflection. Gone. The black hole of Lady AEtherband.
Like, if you didn't know there was a ship there, you would think it was just a wave.
Yeah,
breaking.
sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah. And so now we can see the depth color change right here. The color, the depth is changing. We've got development here. It's not developing at the full, it's not developing at the horizon. It's developing down here. Okay, look, right here. This is the ship. That band right there, that is the inverted hull of the ship. and the ship is right here. Here's a white little strip right here. Just keep your eye here. Just kind of float it around. You'll see it dance. Look at this right here. Boom. Look at that. Look at that. So what I'm gonna suggest is that even though we're seeing the limit here, up here, I think that it's actually back here. So we've got this like angular projection. Oh, well, you know what? Actually, it goes out right here. It goes out right there.
Yeah, I really like the PH video, the video they posted with the PhD physicist. Was he a physicist? What was he again?
You're gonna have to give me more than that data. What do you mean?
Well, he used a little story regarding the Israelis looking off into the Red Sea and seeing people drown.
Oh yeah.
As an anthropological explanation.
yeah, that was Dr. Greenler. I just kicked a cat when he did that explanation.
And not only that, he told you that refraction does hide the bottom of stuff, so you do have.
Oh yeah, I know, man. Yeah. I appreciated your comment. Okay, now the ship is now moving right to left behind the platform. Watch it to the left. Here it comes.
Yeah, that just clearly shows you that's in a straight path, man. And just the refraction is burying it. It's quite obvious.
So this is the end of the first installment. I had, let's see what I had. Crazy Ether 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I've got 4 sections. That one's 12, that one's 6, and that one's 6. I think at this point I had so much data on my SD card that I could only do 5 to 6 minutes. But let's look at the final result. Let's look at the last 6 minutes, okay? So
here's a question for you, Travis. Is now that you've done the aquatic interpretation of refraction, when are you going to go to the desert next?
Well, on my way to California to harvest cannabis, I'm going to stop at the Bonneville Salt Flats and do what I can in a couple days.
8 miles, easy. Well, longer than that, actually. I did a little bit of I did a video on the salt flats you just mentioned there. What are they called again? Not Bolivia. What is it called?
Bonneville,
yeah. Bolivia salt flats. I did a data like a Google Earth data between 2 points to get the elevation, right? The elevation.
Yeah.
If you do that, make sure you bring that with your thing and drive your car across the desert with the protractor on it. Once you have your car calibrated from the point of position from the data, draw along that line and see if the protractor actually picks up the dip in elevation of the desert.
Well, the trick about
and then what it does. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say the trick about the Bonneville Salt Flats is that the salt, the flats themselves are almost like very fine, very, very fine sand, and you can get dug down. And if you get dug down, it's like an arm and a leg to get yourself towed out of there. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I did see people driving there, right?
I know, but I just don't want to get stuck. I don't know it well enough, but I hear what you're saying. Absolutely, I hear what you're saying.
The reason why I would just talk about that observation with the protractor is that because it's not, it's going to match the same as Google Earth. If you're going down a certain degree, up a certain degree, you can pretty much see the matched data. And why it's significant is because it's just measuring your distance and elevation is exactly what you do when you. It's exact. Anyway, it's something you can do part of your.
No, I hear you.
Desert,
I hear you, man. But listen, that's why I've got a GoFundMe, because that kind of time, to take that kind of time to orchestrate that kind of event and make sure that you're doing everything right. That time is money these days,
Oh yeah. Oh, I get it, buddy. I get it. You live in the United States, which is very eclectic in its landscape. You can literally be in the desert 1 minute and on a snowy Alp the next.
Yep.
In a short few hours. So it's definitely you have a lot of land to work with, a lot of places. I don't have anywhere near the freedom you have. And then where I'm located as well, I'm in the middle of the mountains.
Wait,
so I don't have this. Yeah.
I'm just backing up real quick. Watch the if you can see the methane burner here to the left is burning. Watch the dance of the. Look at that. You see that? You see that zigzag?
Mm-hmm. It's a little heat wave passing it, right?
Something. But what I wanted to point out right now was, look at how much of the base we can see and how much was compressed, 30, 40 minutes before. We couldn't even see. So that whole...
So is there an inversion going on there then?
Well, it's possible. It's possible. Right here, it looks like it comes in on itself. Right here,
it's not a light inversion though. It's just a temperature inversion, because all you see is
I don't know.
It could be that there is less magnification, so the horizon will be farther away. So the amount of compression is in height is less. The bottom of this compression.
Yeah. One of the reasons why data, I would say I don't think that there is an inferior mirage is because it looks to me like this right here is the top rigging, the base of the platform with the pylon, or whatever you want to call it, the leg. This to me doesn't look inverted.
It's not an inferior mirage at all, not one bit. It's the actual platform itself. It just what I see is a slightly temperature inversion between the water and the arm, but then it's not consistent. So as you see the arm or the platform moved, and now that particular wave is not as as the arm moves, it straightens. So foreshortening is an effect that you should look into, which straight objects or slightly bent objects, when they're compressed, they'll bend more significantly. So I'm just looking at that platform, and I don't see, because you can see the land behind the rig.
On the right,
and so, yeah. So there, I don't see an inferior mirage at all. In fact, I just see heat wave, really, and that's just a heat wave, man. That's all it is. And obviously the horizon is just going to be your angular, your refraction limit on your lens of your camera, because that's how all these images are put into the sensor, is via refraction into a cone. So whether you've done enough into that observation based on weather temperature, because there has to be, for instance, if you put a camera on the ground, like I've told you before, and you zoom out, the ground will rise into the camera.
Most definitely. Yep.
Yeah. So that effect has a limitation. The refraction effect has a limitation. That's why I have to tilt it up, right? So it's just this optical illusion based on that limitation, and that's relative to the angle. And obviously, in this situation, you're not getting much refraction. You're just seeing heat wave. That's what I see. I don't see very much refraction there at all, unless I'm wrong, because I can see the island behind it. So all I see is water and a heat wave.
So again, because this is a video, it does not give you the data of your focal length, but based on how I normally shoot, I'm going to suggest that that is a full optical zoom. And now here, I've got a boat that is on the horizon. Okay, I've got a boat that's on the horizon. But above this right here is a... how would I want to say this? At least at this point right here. Okay, so look, if we're looking up here at the Santa Cruz Island, and we can see the topography here. Right here is where I would say the magic starts. Right there. So that all of this right here, if we could wipe away that refraction, the water would go up, and this is where the shoreline is. That's my working interpretation.
See, where do you see refraction here in the sense of the inferior mirage?
Where do I
Right.
where do I see refraction?
See, right there is refraction now, right? I mean, I'm not talking about the horizon line caused by it. Talking about the mirroring effect, the internal refraction, right, or internal reflection that we see. So,
okay. So there are two classifications of mirage: inferior and superior. And then there are 4 classifications of non-miraged phenomena, which is towering, stooping, looming, and sinking. Those allegedly don't have an inverted image. But I have a hard time not saying that everything that we're seeing in this image is refraction. Everything.
Well, technically it is.
Okay.
Yes, everything you see is refraction.
Okay.
Technically.
Okay.
Because it's going through a lens, it's refracted into those points, into a cone. So that technically is all true. It is all fundamentally based in refraction.
Okay. So based
because
on
it's coming into the lens of your eye, right? We're talking about weather conditions. Let's in this case call it energy exchange, because that's what's causing the effect. Is the temperature difference between the air and the surface of the water, and if that is at greater extremes, you tend to have greater refraction. Would you agree?
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. How about that?
You agree?
No, I don't have enough information. I can't say one way or the other. I don't have a problem with what you're saying. I just don't have enough information to affirm it with a kick to the shin with pointy boots.
See, the thing I'm noticing a similarity between the desert and the ocean.
Hold on, let me say this real quick, and I'm going to push play. But let me say this real quick. So again, this point here is the actual horizon, not here. And we've got an inverted image here. But if we follow this line right here, we can see that right here at this point, I would say this is an inverted image, and this is like right here. This part right here is this part right here. So this part that's right here is farther in the distance. That's why it's higher up, and this is closer to us, which means this is why its fold line, vanishing line, is lower down. So the point though is that from this point of the horizon to that point is physical distance, and we need to know how far that is. Just like from right here to right here, I would want a ship, I would want a boat right here, and I'd want a boat right here. And I think we could do it. It's just the freaking sweet spot timing of all of that stuff. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, guaranteed that area that you're witnessing in the human mind for the average observer is not even understanding what foreshortening, or the compression effect that's actually happening. If you, for shits and giggles, I don't know if you've done this, but if you've been down at the ocean and you've filmed buoy points, and you can line them up in a row, and they're about, let's say, 2,500 feet apart, maybe 3,000 feet apart, and you got 3 in them in a row, and you zoom in along that line, those 3 buoys will appear very close to each other. Now, in the same regards as that your internal reflection or refraction here that you see, that's happening sometimes over 2, 3, 4 miles in a compressed foreshortening effect due to the way optics works, right?
Yeah.
So that also exaggerates. It has to exaggerate the effect, right? That's why it's now. Here's the thing too. If you were to,
can I stop you just real quick?
Yeah.
So earlier, the horizon stopped right here, and I could go back and show you, but there was this. I think this is a channel marker of some sort. I think that this has to be some sort of marker for the ships not to come closer to the platform. But in the video before this horizon was not. This horizon right here is beyond this, and we did not have that before. We had the horizon down here with this marker right on the horizon, and then we could see what we thought was sky. So all I'm doing right now is just making note of the fact I just took a screenshot. I'm gonna have to go back to the previous video and take a screenshot where we could see the entire platform just like we do right now, but this is where the horizon stopped and we had no visible water, but this is clearly beyond the platform.
There you go. Yeah, I think you have another black swan. Hey, has anybody ever taken, like for shits and giggles, just to prove these in simplest form? I was just thinking about it. If you lined up a shot, you know how that sky, what's that channel that produces these refraction examples?
Sky Free?
Sky Free. Now, if you did the exact same observation, but this is what you did, you'd lined up a BB gun from point to point, and you introduced the refraction effect, and you fired your BB gun. You know, you'd line it up before, right? You'd say, hey, it's lined up to the target. We're going to fire, but now we're going to introduce refraction. We're going to fire the BB gun to show you that you won't see the BB going through it, but it's going to go through it, right? So it's just because they're saying that refraction doesn't hide the bottoms of stuff. And I was just thinking, well, that'd be a quick little observation there that you can line it up, hide the bottom with refraction, and fire a gun anyway, and it goes right through it, right? So just an idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's great stuff. I mean, but think about that. Think about imagine the freedom that a person would have if they were funded to, you know what I mean? All these knuckleheads. You know what? We want to investigate the sexual patterns of worms. Can you fund us for that? Yeah, here's a couple million. Come on.
Well, I think the approach that you're going here is probably not going to turn. If you did approach it as a thesis or a dissertation, or what do you call it when you
well,
you can apply for this?
The dissertation is for a doctorate and a degree. A thesis is going to be just a
yeah, fair enough.
So or whatever.
What would you introduce as a piece for study? I mean, would you have to have those level of credentials to do this study?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like I've got a master's degree in another field. I don't see why it would matter ultimately, but I think that I think the establishment does have their bourgeoisie, right? You got to be a part of the club.
I believe so, yeah. But you never know. You could still put forth a paper and get it reviewed.
I'm trying.
And then after you get it reviewed, you could probably raise a little bit more funding, right?
That's exactly the point that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to at least let's say this. I'm going to start at base level. So actually, what we're doing right now is the very base, right? This is the very base. The next step up would be to write an essay, and then the next step up would be to write an article. But I've got 2 contacts right now, both of which have told me that they are retired from the field and they don't have the time. And I've given them my thesis. That's what
too much mental thinking, bro.
That's what's blowing my mind. If I were in this field and some Yahoo redneck truck driver proposed a thesis that I had never heard but made me go, huh. There would be no way I wouldn't say, we got to see what this guy knows. I just don't know why. But anyway, I've got these two guys. I got Greenler, and I've got another one. Another guy from Germany. And he told me to contact him in April. He said, I'm too busy right now. Follow up in April, and, I'll take a look at your stuff. And that's all I can do, man. I mean, it's taking...
Yeah, it keeps growing. It is. You have grown. It's just, if you have a particular process and slow releases, then you're going to be part of it. So it's just going to take a little longer, but you'll get there.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way to look at it. One step at a time, one bite at a time. Yep. So
I just like looking at the scenery, because I think you get such a great opportunity to experience the USA.
Well, in these instances, it's just 2 points. It's the East Coast and the West Coast. But I have fallen in love with both, absolutely. Although...
Yeah, you're lucky, man. You're very lucky.
I looked at a sailboat last time I was here in Ventura, and I was very tempted to just relocate and disappear and just live on the sailboat. But
you know what? I met one of the happiest gentlemen I've ever met in my life, and he exuded joy like I've never met. He was 60 years old, 66, and he played. He was a professional jazz saxophonist, but that's what he did, and it was off of the port of Mexico there in Mazatlan, and he would just go to these small little clubs. He'd play 45-minute sets, I think, for $100 US or something, and that's how he'd make his money. And then he'd go from La Paz to Los Cabos. And what I mean by happiness is that he lived off of the ocean. He made $100 here and there that he would give. It's like he was generous to kids.
Yeah.
He had a dingo dog, dude. A dingo.
Okay.
And anyway, just a very interesting guy. But you exude when you I guess when you go through what you want to do and you end up doing what you want to do, there's this happiness that's like, and you just want to share it. So.
Look. Okay, so I am probably I don't know, a third of the way there. So when I was in California this year, in January to February, I was at the point I had enough in my bank. I'm like, I could do this. I could step away for a moment, right, and see what happens. And that's what I decided to do. And so I decided to quit my job and buy a truck and travel across the country, get shots at Pontchartrain. I wanted to do that. I did that. All along the way, I was thinking of the freedom. And like I said, I had looked at a sailboat. Now, in that instance, I could buy the sailboat. And technically, at that place, you can't have it as a domicile for longer than 3 or 4 days. So I was thinking, okay, well, that's easy. If I drive on the road for 3 weeks in a row and then go to that port for 3 days, no problem, right? No problem. I could live on a boat for 3 days. But at the same time, I was thinking, what could I do as well to get to the point to where I don't have to drive on the road and I could just be as minimalized as possible. And that's where I'm at right now. So doing what I'm doing right now, trying to put these videos out. And look, I'm not the greatest disciplinarian in the world. I've started researching and reading, and the minute I research and read, I get a brainstorm of a video to make. So then I make a video. So I'm not as punctuated in my focus as someone might like, right? But I'm still working on the same topic. And my point is that, roundabout coming to it, I'm going to California to work on a cannabis farm.
Perfect.
Okay, his harvest starts in April, and he goes through to October. I'm like, bro, I could walk away from life for the next 8 months, camp, and just bank that money, buy that boat, and then just figure the rest of the shit out. But right now, the other part that I'm saying right now is I am actually the most stress what's the word I'm looking for?
Free?
Stress free, yeah, stress free, right? I've got no worries. I'm just making breakfast, whatever. I don't know what to say.
Well, what I'd love to see, dude, is if because you're doing all these beautiful long lens. I love the ocean, dude. That's why I watch your footage. If you get a boat, man, I would love to see you breaking down how to navigate.
Yeah.
From point to point, and some star stuff in along with it, because I think it would be right up your alley. And I think as you grow into your thesis here and build up your, what you're doing, which is build up your reputation in this area, I think you getting a boat is a fantastic idea, dude. So maybe see you in New Year with a boat and some fucking navigation charts.
I know, right? Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
You live in the United States. If I had what you had there, I'd be doing exactly what you're doing, just filming every fucking beautiful thing that I had access to. Not that the mountains there's nothing wrong with the mountains, but it's the mountains, man. It's not the ocean. I think I love with the ocean. I might have a love affair with the ocean. That's all.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It terrifies me, but I love it, man.
Yeah. You will not catch me skin diving. Listen. I watched this one video one time where this this skin diver was going down, and he's got a GoPro camera on his head, and he's looking around. He can't see, he can see whatever, like 40 feet in front of him. So he's panning around. Nothing is there. He pans to the left, and then he pans to the right, and there's a fucking grouper. Just this massive grouper. And it's not a man-eater. But I'm like, bro, if I can't see what's coming at me, there's no way I'm going down there. Yeah, I will gladly stay on the top. If you want to jump off the deck and go spearfishing, have at it. That's not me, though.
I know, dude. I love and respect the ocean tenfold. But honestly, the thought of the deep darkness that resides there,
yeah,
I get the chills. And then I realize just how fucking puny I am. And all it requires is that one little thought of the deep.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, listen, it's been, I don't even know how long it's been. How long have we been going on? Let me see if I can pull this up. I don't know how long we've been going. 3 hours?
2 hours.
Three some hours. Anybody else want to follow up with provocative thoughts that have come up? Anybody? Okay, so look at this image right here, right? Look at the rigging. Look at the rigging. And let me go back like 10 seconds. Right, so you've got this is the same distance, but this extension is not crazy wonked like this. Like, what's going on right here? What is that? Oh, well,
So
yeah, well,
it could-
this is exactly what's happening. I'm sorry, are you there? I'm sorry, are you? Oh, no, but we know what's happening right there.
It could be a foreshortening effect. Like I said, when the arm is slightly bent and then through compression, it could be more distorted than it actually is.
Yeah,
Not just based on a heat wave.
yeah.
Try it out for yourself, man. Film something that you think is straight at a long distance and straight on an angle to it, or just slightly off to an angle to it. It will.
But this is not along the x-axis. Like, you're not looking. Is that what you're talking about? Filming something on the x-axis, like looking down a railroad track.
Anything in the distance that you've compressed and is heavily foreshortened. If it's slightly bent or whatever, it will exaggerate that bend.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, I hear you.
Right.
I hear you. Yeah.
That's exactly what I demonstrated in a Pontchartrain video that I just posted, which was, okay, it's going to record the bridge data being curved, but it won't
Yeah,
record
yeah,
the
yeah.
water data being curved.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's the point. That's the point of that video. And I exaggerated the curved data by showing you. I mean, I could have went, look, man. Like I said, they already know it's flat, so I just feel like sometimes dumb putting it up.
But it's everything, ain't it, Data? It's foreshortening, it's refraction, it's bloody whale farts, it's everything.
Bird
Right?
poop. Shout out to Jeremy. Bird poop.
Yeah, it's
Everything.
absolutely
It's everything. It's everything but Earth curves.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Damn straight, man. Damn straight. Well, okay, so let's do the traditional final thoughts, Data. So let us have it, man.
Oh man, thanks for putting your stuff up. I'm always gonna stop by from now and then, check it out, see what you're doing. But I love to hear the boat, the 8 months from now, a year from now.
Oh man,
you're talking about being on a boat, doing that shit. Well, you'll have a long time. I'll be a long time follower.
And Bansal.
Yeah. Thanks again, Travis, and thank you for a nice conversation. It's good.
It was good. It turned great. Great. We had some great stuff. And Aaron, you around, man?
Yeah, I'm here. Great way to host a show like you have, where you're actually the presenter and the host at the same time, and letting folks talk and share ideas. As you're just gathering, maybe another video we can check out. So, dude, you're knocking it out of the park, Travis. Appreciate you.
All right. Well, guys, thanks so much. I appreciate you guys for being here, being a part of the show. Everybody out there in Plain Truth Land. Let me see if I can see you later. Who's got a Barbara McGill? Hey, what's going on? I don't see if you're up there earlier on. You just came in, it looks like, but glad to have you here. We got
Travis cutting out, or
yeah, you're getting choppy, Travis.
I don't know why. I'm not moving anywhere.
You're getting knocked out of the park, Travis.
How about now? Is that any better? La 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 la. La la la. Is that any better? Am I coming back? Anybody coming back? Nothing. All right. Well, whatever. I don't even know if anybody can hear me out in YouTube land. But Barbara McGill's out there. Hello. Just went. See that you got invited here by Mopman. So glad you're here. Red Cloud, Walter Williams, Dan the Waterman, and anybody else who is here, Matrix Man. Thank you so much. Level Eyes to See. This has been another exciting adventure of